seeing there. And if you're really keen, why not grab some merchandise? One of these hats. That's it. All sorts of different things going on. Isolation zone for the climbers is here. There's a tank park there, I'm not really sure what that's about. But the thing that really sets this venue off is this place.
15 seconds later.
This is the ice structure here in Saas Fee. My name's Liam Lonsdale and welcome to the 2017 UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. So, hopefully the action will be getting going underway here very soon. We're really excited to learn more about the speed finals. Let's find out a little bit more about Saas Fee. Testing me. Okay, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing until I get told to run the next one. Until what? Same link. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely excited for the action here tonight in Saas Fee. The speed finals is almost ready to get underway, but before we begin, let's find out a little bit more about the host village. Saas Fee is the pearl of the European. Situated just below the 2,000 metres, reliable snow conditions make this place a popular venue for snow sports enthusiasts. The resort has a host of ski lifts just a short walk from the beautiful traditional hotels and chalets. It's quiet too. Saas Fee's been car-free since 1951, but don't worry, you can still get around in the very cool electric taxis. Culturally too, it's had its moments in the sun. Wham's last Christmas video was filmed here, as were the ski scenes for Bond film on Her Majesty's Secret Service. But this unpromising looking car park is the reason we're here, because inside it is an ice climbing arena like no other. Set in the middle of this concrete donut, the multi-stories of the car park offer unprecedented views of the course, and the crowds flock there in their thousands to see some of the most thrilling ice climbing in the world. When the sun goes down, it's also the scene of some seriously wild parties. Well, I'm joined now by Petra Klingler, current international world bouldering champion, but also a dab hand at ice climbing too. Petra, hello. How are you?
I'm really good.
And you've qualified for semi-finals tomorrow. You topped your route. You're in joint first place.
Yes, I'm really happy with my climbing today. I mean, it was an amazing route, kind of new route, and I wasn't sure about my climbing, but I topped out and I'm super happy about it.
Well, it was great to see you climbing so well, and of course, being Swiss, you're here in Saas Fee in front of a home crowd. What's it like competing in a place like Saas Fee with such loyal supporters?
It's absolutely my favorite competition here because I know it works. The system works, the people, they work all together, they know how it works, they've been doing it for 17 or 18 years now, and we athletes, we just can't trust them. And I mean, the climbing in front of a home crowd, it helps a lot. I mean, the shouting and everything, it gives you more power, more energy, and you just want to give back everything you can.
How are you feeling about the semi-finals tomorrow?
I'm excited. I'm a bit afraid about semis because I'm really not sure about my shape, but it will be interesting and I'm really looking forward to climbing.
This is your first competition of the season. We've had 3 more. Have you managed to see any of the action online?
I've been following it a little bit. I saw the shortcuts or short reviews on Facebook and on the homepage, and it was really interesting to seeing all these athletes already competing, and I was so envious about it. I wanted to be there with all of them.
Well, of course, you've been studying really hard. If you've not had a chance to catch up with the live streams or the broadcast so far, then this is the perfect chance to see some of the action from our 3 previous competitions. This is where things start to get exciting. Puts the fifth 9. She certainly is. Climbing with that aggression that we saw yesterday, and she drops down in control. Looking really good. Come on, Ema. Wonseon Shin for the win. 5 seconds on the clock. It's not going to happen. But what an awesome effort from Wonseon Shin as she times out.
She really showed today that she was so far above every other woman on this court.
He's on it. He is on it. He cuts loose, in control, kicks underneath, sticks it. Alexei Negin sticks the hold. He's in the lead. Look at him go. He loves it. Come on.
Welcome to beautiful China.
Big deep lock, right hand up to the finishing hold, and she cuts loose, but stays composed. Very close moment there for Maria Tolokanina, makes the final clip, and all she needs to do is match, and there it is, the first gold medal of the season for the Russian Maria Tolokanina. Awesome work. Nikolai Kuzovlev reaches down with the left hand, clips the final clip, matches with the tool, and ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Another Russian gold medal. Prushenko going for a record time.
Oh, come on.
The two records so far, and that slip's going to cost him. Kartashev's catching him up. Prushenko's scuffing, but he's looking good, and it's a good finish for Prushenko. And that's the first gold medal of the season for Radomir Prushenko of Russia. Tolokanina looks tired, but Kashiva looks raring to go. Tolokanina slips, Kashiva slaps up. 13.45, and the first gold medal of the season for Katarina Kashiva. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time at a UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup, Natalia Belyeva will take gold medal. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now preparing to get the action underway here at the speed finals competition. You can see the speed structure, and I will be chatting to a few different people. That is, I can't tell you that is just yet. We'll be with you in about 30 seconds with Carter Stritch. So I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Carter Stritch, our favourite fallen wounded soldier. Carter, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
How's the thumb going?
The thumb is good. The tool is out. Surgery happened.
That's great to hear.
Stitches are looking good.
Awesome. So right now on the competition wall, the speed wall that you can see right in the centre of the screen, we've got practice happening. How important is the practice, and why do the athletes do it?
I honestly think it varies depending on the athlete, but for a lot of us, it's just getting in the right mindset and also understanding the ice, because the ice can vary between venues.
Yeah.
And this ice, as you can see, it's a little challenging.
It's quite brittle, I believe, because it's so cold in here.
Yes.
We reliably informed that the temperatures are somewhere between -10 and -20. It's due to drop to -22, that's Celsius, this evening, so very, very cold. Interestingly, I was talking to one of the Swiss officials earlier about the structure itself and how it's made, because obviously when we go from venue to venue, the structure varies. And this one's made from a series of ice cubes.
Yeah, I was looking at that. So they've got the ice cubes, and then I was just talking to Marianne, and I guess they put some water over it.
Yeah, so at the back of the structure, you can almost see it through there, the brick-like pattern behind. Those are the ice cubes, and then they basically put water ice and dribble it down to freeze. This year, they normally make the ice cubes in a cooler, but the cooler broke down, so they had to improvise. Nothing like a little bit of uncertainty to keep the competition spicy.
Absolutely.
When the ice is brittle like this, what's the big concern for the athletes?
Well, depending on where you are in the competition, it's staying on, making sure you get a time.
Yeah.
It's and just trying to go slow enough to make sure you know where you're going, where you're putting the tools, but fast enough to potentially qualify.
Well, of course, this competition, as with all the others, is a very social event. We like to get as many people involved from across the globe as possible, and we do that through the means of social media. It's very easy to get in touch with us here in Saas Fee. All you have to do is comment on the live feed in YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and in fact, why not use that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing? We will be able to hopefully see all of those tweets and comments, etc. If you have questions, we'll do our best to answer them. If you have a shout out, then we'll try and give it you. So do get those in on the social. Carter, we've got 18 men and 18 women through to what we're calling the finals here. Of course, the finals generally goes from 8 downwards. In those names, there's some pretty strong people. The likes of Mr. Radomir Proshenko. Of course, he's taken 1 gold medal this year in Beijing. We've got Pavel Batashov, who took a gold medal in Cheongsong last week. Are there any names in there that stand out as possibles for the winners other than those 2?
It's hard to say. It can vary a lot depending on competition. It was interesting today during at least the women's qualifiers. It was just...
Why so?
I think some people did a little bit better than... some of the people I would have expected to do a little better struggled a little bit.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
No specifics.
Carter remaining diplomatic as ever. So, looking at the women's names, of course, we've got some names that we're maybe not so used to. We've got Amafdi Alala Kazemi, we've got Motla Elnaz Maleki, both Iranian climbers, as well as Zainab Kobra Musavi, who's a more familiar name to us here on the UIAA circuit. There's a Kendra Stritch in there. Are you familiar with her, Carter?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. So Carter's sister, of course, qualifying in 2nd place.
Yeah.
Brilliant effort from her.
Absolutely. Her second run was fantastic. Excited to see that. Hopefully that brought her some confidence coming into finals here, knowing that she can go fast on the brittle ice.
Definitely, and we look at the names that she beat there. She was ahead of Katarina Kosheva, she was ahead of Katarina Feoktistova, both of which gold medal winners. In fact, Feoktistova was overall speed winner in 2015, so for Kendra to come out and qualify above them, I would say that means she shows that she means business.
Yes, hopefully we'll see that. It was a little interesting with the ice. Some of the Russian climbers decided not to take their second run, so that could be skewing that time a little bit.
Okay, so they chose not to take a second run in order to just save themselves?
Yep, and the ice can be a little bit dangerous. With it being so brittle, you don't. The more you climb, the more chances you have of a tool breaking off and maybe striking yourself.
Of course, and we did have a couple of minor injuries today. Dmitry Gorobenikov, unfortunately, speared his finger, although he still went on to compete in the lead qualifiers.
Yes, I was talking to the EMTs earlier, and they were commenting on his refusal of care.
Yeah, how did Dmitry do? I didn't actually catch his route.
The difficulty.
In lead.
Yeah, I didn't see, but he seemed to be quite happy.
Oh, that's good.
So,
well, we'll have to try and find out where he was. Of course, if you want to find out the live results, it's very easy to do. Go to results.theuiaa.org, and you'll be able to see live results streamed on there. On your screen at the moment is Marion Thomas. She's practicing the route, as Carter and I were just talking about. This is their opportunity, the athlete's opportunity, to find the best positions for the holds, the best sequence, if you like, to climb up this wall, which is about 20 metres in height, Carter. Set. Have we got another VT to run? Have we got that technique VT? I haven't talked about that. I'll lead into that. So one of the things that we have been talking about over the course of the tour, and in fact, one thing that's been within the comments and things like that, is people asking what, for example, a Fig 4 is or a Fig 9. People asking for jargon busters. And so knowing that people are interested in learning more about the sport, and we know that there are a lot of new viewers, people that haven't seen ice climbing before, that are tuning in. I joined Noah Bake, young Canadian climber who's made 2 finals so far this season, to learn a little bit more about the technique of ice climbing. So sit back and enjoy this video about technique and commentary terms. We're here at the warm-up wall behind the Saas Fee structure with Canadian climber Noah Bake, and we're going to try and explain a few of the terms that you're going to hear in the commentary. So first of all, Noah's going to kick in. So Noah, when you kick in, what is it that you're thinking about?
Just to see if they actually stick and how far they go in.
And how does that feel?
Good.
Cool. Another term that you'll often hear us say is the use of the word figure 4 or just 4. Noah, use a Fig 4. Can you explain why you would use a Fig 4?
You generally use a figure 4 when you find a very skatey or low percentage hold, because it really sets your pick in the down position so it doesn't pop off.
Yeah. So it doesn't, I think a misconception is that often people think it gives you more reach, but actually it just gives you a more stable position over the tool.
It can and it can't. It's really the situation.
Another term that we often use during the commentary is figure of 9, Fig 9 or a 9. So Noah, if you could show us a 9. And perhaps now's a good time to explain the difference between a 4 and a 9. So with a 9, Noah's left hand and left leg are crossed, whereas with a 4, you would cross right hand and left leg. So Noah, explain why you would use a figure 9.
You generally use it in roofs to transition into a figure 4 to reach to the next hold.
Okay. So moving on to tool usage. Noah, when you are climbing, you'll often use different tool positions. Mm-hmm. I'd like to cover some of those. So first up, Noah's going to show us a wrap.
So wrap is when you kind of wrap the teeth of the tool around the hold. You'll generally do that when you see a horn kind of sticking out. And it's usually a fairly decent hold.
And how does it feel?
It usually feels fairly secure.
Careful. And then also you might go what some people call front on. Can you show us that?
Yeah, that's just plainly placing the...
So the clue's in the name.
Straight on like that.
And does that feel less secure?
It can. It can be really bad, but it can also be really good.
Cool. And then another crucial one that we often talk about is a stein.
That is when you take it upside down and then the teeth rest against the wall.
So the head of the axe is resting against the wall, and you can torque on it almost, really yard on it. So we can call that a stein or a stein pull. And then there's a subtle difference between the stein and then an undercling or an undercut. Can you show us that?
An undercling is usually upside down, but you don't stein the head of your tool.
So the head of the tool would be free from the surface of the wall.
Usually a more physical move too.
Cool. Well, Noah, thank you so much for that. That was very insightful, very interesting. Best of luck for the competition.
Yeah, thank you.
So hopefully that should give you a little bit more of an idea about some of the terms that I use and that my co-commentators use. And in fact, I have another co-commentator joining me now. I've got Marianne van der Steen. Marianne, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
It's great to have you here. The first comp of the season for you.
Yeah, the very first.
pretty exciting to be here again.
So will we be seeing you at the other ones is the first question, or is this the one and only?
No, it's luckily not the one and only. We're going to the World Championships as well, but we skip Rabenstein.
Okay, cool. So, how was today for you?
Today was okay for the very first World Cup of the season. For me, it was, well, I made the semis in lead, and I unfortunately didn't make the semis in speed, but, well, if you don't train for something, then...
Of course, and it was unfortunately for you, but very fortunately for me, because I'm delighted to have you sat by my side. Of course, right this second, we are in the middle of the practice session for the speed finals. 18 men and 18 women will be competing for that gold medal here in Saas Fee. We talked to Carter about the importance of practicing speed. What's going to be going through these climbers' mind while they're doing this warm-up session, if you like?
Well, first of all, I think they find the ice terrible. They had some bad luck with the freezing and all the ice and the forming of the ice. They made ice blocks, and then they got a really warm period over here.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of melt underneath the ice and had to place new ice. But as you see, it didn't really work out well. They had to use a lot of snow, and then there came a really cold period, making the ice super brittle. And that's exactly what they're having right now. So they can't really find the rhythm yet, as I see. Really figuring out what to move first, really finding out their own route.
One thing that we have to say, is that the guys here that are here, these organisers, are working incredibly hard and have worked incredibly hard to at least have ice on the wall, and it's so good that they've managed to pull it back from the brink of disaster.
Oh, definitely. And they did a good job, though, changing the ice into something that is actually climbable and actually has holds. And they're actually making the holds even better right now.
Which is great to see. At this point, I'd like to quickly say a big thank you to the North Face South Korea. Those guys are the tour sponsor. They've been the tour sponsor since 2013. And this competition would not be possible without them. Neither would all the others. So huge thank you to them. 18 men and 18 women, which is slightly different to how we'd normally see a final. This would normally be like the second qualifiers, so it's a slightly different format. Will that change the way that the climbers are... What's the word I'm looking for? You know what's going through the head?
Oh, it's maybe more of a gamble.
Uh-huh.
So once you made it to the semi-finals right now, you're not really sure if you're going to get on further on. So I think it makes it interesting to watch, because everybody will do even more at their best to get even further and even higher.
Excuse me, that's great to hear. So, looking at the names on the list, we have got the likes of Maria Tolokonina. She won 3 of the 4 speed competitions last year. We've got Katarina Kasheva. She won 1 of the 4 last year and has already won 1 gold medal in speed this year. Katarina Feoktistova, she won the overall speed competition in 2015. There's 15 other girls on that list. When you've got big hitters like that, how hard is it to go up there and compete against them?
Yeah, in a way, it's still a gamble because it's a new wall. There's different ice, and I think that they have to have a certain talent for this kind of ice. And I'm not really sure if everybody would have the talent, but of course, you see Maria, who's done so much already. She's got a big chance. But you see new ones in the list as well, like Finland, Mira. She's going really fast as well. And one of the reasons why she's so fast over here is that she's got natural ice to train on. So this is her ice.
This is her domain.
Yes, it is. And it's interesting.
It is really interesting, and I'm really excited to see the likes of Mira Alhonsro, as you mentioned, some of the Iranians as well. They can often pull a surprise out of the bag. Marion Thomas, another one to point out, she's made every speed final this season so far.
And she likes it.
Yeah, she loves it. She's always having a great
Yes.
time. It's so nice to see. I do love that when you see some emotion from the climbers, and Marion has that in buckets, so that's great to see. Another big shout out to some of our segment sponsors. This evening's speed finals are brought to you by the Spaghetteria da Rasso at Bellevue, so a big thank you to those guys for their support. Number 120, who are we looking at there?
That's from Iran.
Zainab Kobur Mousavi, of course, we can only see the back of them. Zainab Kobur Mousavi, a brilliant Iranian climber. She made finals in Cheongsong. She placed 7th out of the 8 climbers, so did really well. Just falling there, struggling with that brittle ice.
Oh.
What would you say is going to be a good time for this speed final?
Oh, that's a really difficult
I'm putting
guess.
you on the spot.
Well, in the start, I think they will have times like 18, 19, just to be sure that they're getting through. And once they got through, they will start becoming faster and faster. Well, we've had times like 8 and 7 seconds, even on the same kind of ice as you see right here.
Once those climbers really find their footing and find the method, then they can really just unleash and get going, I guess.
Definitely, you have to find a rhythm.
Very much looking forward to seeing if they do find their rhythm. And of course, one of the other things I want to mention is the dominance of the Russians in the speed. And, you know, within the lead, it's very much an open sport, but I mean, it's so hard, the speed. Why is it that they're so dominant in this category?
They train for this.
They really do.
They train for this. They have walls to train on, and that, of course, really helps. But you see, it is changing. There are a few other athletes, like, for example, Mira from Finland, but of course Kendra as well from the USA.
She qualified in second.
Yeah, she's getting really fast, and she's actually training for it as well. So it is slowly changing.
And, you know, with someone like Kendra, we saw her come second in qualifiers. She actually got third place in Durango. Now, Durango, unfortunately, wasn't a classified speed event because there was no ice. They climbed the speed event on ply. Obviously, Kendra doing well because she has a ply speed wall to train on in her garden.
Exactly.
So it's cool that you can see that transfer of skills, and like you say, once you train for something, then it makes sense that you're going to do well at it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is Mira on the screen, I believe. Mira Alhonsro, who you were saying, from Finland, who's been moving really fast, moving rather methodically at this stage, just looking to find those best positions.
Oh, and falling as well. She just didn't have it right.
Is that going to affect their confidence?
I'm not sure if it's about... It's difficult. Is it what they are exactly doing right now and why they're doing it right now? I guess it's just trying to be slower, sure, and therefore being a little slower.
So hopefully that falling in the initial warm-up phase doesn't affect them too much. One thing that I'd like to mention, I mean, there's another example of that fall happening. One thing that I'd like to mention is this venue. This is a pretty unique space.
It's the oldest in the competition right now.
I mean, that's a cool thing on its own.
Yes, so it's really popular, and you see that also in the results. There are a lot of athletes competing here this season, a lot more than you see in some other competitions. And it's not just because it's in Europe, it's also because of the popularity of the venue.
Yeah, it has a real sense of esteem. One thing, speaking of the athletes that are here, and speaking of past results, I think they've been here for 18 years now. Something like that. I was doing some analysis of statistics before. Very exciting stuff, I'm sure you can imagine. And what I did find was that some of our traditional big hitters, not so much in speed, but definitely in lead, some of our traditional big hitters suffer with Saas Fee. Maybe you can explain why that is.
Well, in the lead climbing, what they use over here, and they don't use so much in all the other competitions, is the granite holds, the real stone holds. You have to understand the outdoor climbing on the real stone holds a little to understand the climbing here on the lead. And also, the wall is big. It's slightly bigger compared to most of the other competition walls. Therefore, it makes the results a little different compared to the other venues we have in the scene.
Well, there is aforementioned Katarina Fektistova just having a bit of trouble there. Like I said before, she took that title overall speed in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. One thing I'd like to say as well is that you can follow the feed and the whole broadcast on Empora, and if you are watching Empora, then a very warm welcome to everyone that's tuned in. It's great to have you on board. Fektistova took that title in 2015, but there was an absence of one Maria Tolokonina, who has taken the title, are you ready for this one? 2007, 2008, 2009, 2011, 2014 and 2016.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of overall world titles.
That's incredible.
Now, we know why the Russians in general are so good, because they have that structure to train on.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Maria so good?
Interesting, because she's like, if you look at statistics of a climber, most of the people think like, oh, you have to be super light, you have to be tall, you have to be extremely strong to be good at this sport. But she's, for example, she's not very tall.
She's tiny.
Actually one of the smallest competitors out there, but still she's doing really good. One of the talents she has is the explosiveness, and you need that when you're a little smaller, and it comes back in the speed climbing again.
Yeah, and you see that explosive style here from Kusheva. Kusheva, who's reigning world champion, took gold medal in Beijing. It's a driving power through the legs that I think sets that technique apart. They seem to be able to coordinate the drive through the left leg and the pull with the right at the same time that really propels them upwards.
Definitely, it's a talent she has. And the thing with this is, and that's with every sports, of course, but especially with climbing, it's something that has to set in your brain. Once you've got it settled in your brain, and it becomes better and better and better, and you can just improve it. And Maria has been competing for so long that she's really got this settled in her brain. She can only improve the small things, and that's what she's exactly doing right now.
And considering she's won so many titles, she's still only 29 years old. It is crazy.
I feel old.
Don't say that. Now there's Kendra Stritch on the screen. We had Kendra's little brother Carter with us before.
Oh, she's got a good rhythm already. Look at that. She's having the right holds.
That's great to see at the start.
She's reading the route.
Careful, Kendra.
Little
no, you're going to experience something called the curse of the commentator. There you go.
Oh,
when you say that they're doing well, then they fall.
I'm sorry, I'm cursing
You've
them.
got it's really funny, and you feel so guilty. And of course, it actually doesn't have any reflection on the performance. But when you say they've done it, they're going to win, and then they fall, you'll feel really bad.
No, she's still having a rhythm. She's still looking right for the holds, and she sees well where the ice is good and where the ice isn't so good. So
it'll be exciting to see how Kendra manages in this final. Maybe she is going to be a bit of a dark horse of the competition. Certainly one to watch. And there's Maria Tolokanina. Now, Maria's wearing knee pads. Why is that?
Oh, it hurts. The ice climbing hurts.
Why so?
Get your knees onto the ice every single time again, and you don't want to get distracted by hitting your knee onto the ice, so it's good to wear an even shin. And yeah, so it hurts a little less.
And one thing that I see here is that you have to run through a gate to get started, almost in ski competition style. That run up, how does that feel? You know, like running to climb. For me, I've never tried this speed climbing here, but I feel like that would be quite disconcerting.
No, it isn't. For
oh,
me.
God.
I'm gonna get this wall, I'm gonna get there. And then you got this run, so you already got this kind of speed into you, and therefore you can get even faster.
That makes sense.
It's not that bad.
Like a sprint start almost.
Exactly.
I do like the style of the game. It does give it like a real race feel.
Definitely. Yeah.
And another thing to mention is that whereas in some of the formats we have a dual format where one climber climbs simultaneously with another, climbers are on their own here. I've talked to competitors before, and they've insinuated that climbing against somebody pushes you to climb faster.
It depends on your mind. You have to change your mindset onto it. Definitely. You have to change into, I am going to do this. It's just you and the wall, which makes it maybe even more of a challenge.
Right, okay. Interesting. Who have we got now? So we're doing another lap through those climbers now. So either this will be her first attempt, her first official attempt, or this will be her first actual qualifying round. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have a link to the judges, but hopefully we'll be able to find that out any second. So of course on the screen that is Elnaz Maleki of Iran.
It looks like she's reading the wall, where she can grab the right holds.
Really just trying to cement in her mind where it is that she's going to climb.
Yes.
Did you see the speed competition from Beijing?
Yes, I did. That was a different wall. It was incredible to watch.
So exciting to see, and it was like a real ice fall.
Yes, it was a real ice fall with all these structures and things surface around it, it really felt like ice climbing. Even watching it, you were just speed climbing on the real ice there in China. The whole venue around it was amazing to see.
Well, this is the official first attempt for her. So Elnaz Maleki begins her attempt, and she's moving in quite a methodical style at the moment, just looking to get it going. In fact, sorry, correction, that isn't Elnaz Maleki, that is Alala Kazemi. Alala of Iran, climbing quite calculated, just looking for those correct placements as she makes her progress up the wall, and we'll do our best to get live times as they top, but we don't have access to a clock, so we'll be getting those results on our screens here as it happens. If you want to see those results, then you can go to results.theuiaa.org. On the left-hand side of the window, you'll see live results. Click on that, select the competition that you want to find out about. It's as simple as that. Our main man, Alex Pone, the Romanian results master, will be uploading those as he goes, so keep your eye on those. Alala Kazemi just looking to make that top there. There it is.
And she's got it. I think it's a good go for her first go. She went secure, but well enough.
And so with 3 attempts, are they going to... Because I've talked to people about this before, again, athletes before, and they said, the first attempt, they try and go safe. The second attempt, they, between 60% safe, 40% aggressive, and then the final attempt, it's just all out, everything they've got. Is that what we're going to expect to see here, do you think?
Oh, there are different tactics. That's one tactic you can use.
What would be your tactic?
I would just go a muerte the first go, and I would go the second go. I would go exactly the same, and if I then don't make it still, then I'll go slow.
So for anyone that isn't familiar with the phrase a muerte, it's a Spanish term that means to the death. Now, I'm pretty sure you don't mean literally to the death, do you?
No, not really.
If you ever climb in Spain or with Spanish people, they always shout a muerte, and it's basically the climbing lifestyle, just giving it absolutely everything you've got to the climb, to the lifestyle, everything. And so to see them go a muerte is great. Now we've got bib number 128. That is Shabnam Asadi, another Iranian climber. Alala Kazemi topped her first route in 1 minute and 15 seconds. So we will wait and see how that looks. Meanwhile, we've got our next Iranian climber powering away up the wall. She's looking good at this stage. Shabnam Asadi moving well to start, just under halfway. You can see where the ice changes colour. That's the final third of the route that she's approaching.
Yeah, going tricky on this hold. She's having her ice axis very close. You have to make long moves here to get actually distance and get moving. But she's going good. She's going steady. She's definitely using the tactic like, okay, I'll have to finish this first round and then I can go faster and faster in my second and third attempt.
Well, she's moving pretty well so far. She seems to have found the right holds with her tools. Maybe needs to just drive a little bit more with those feet, but like you say, she might be holding back for that first attempt. Almost at the top now for Shabnam Asadi.
And there she goes.
And that's her time, so we'll get that registered any second. And our next climber, we think, is Daria Kovac. We have had a slight change in the running order with the first 2 athletes, so it could be that changes, but Daria Kovac, of course, very, very talented and very fast Ukrainian climber.
There we've got Nagy.
Doesn't look like Daria Kovac.
No.
So that's Nayagi, of course, of Japan. Brilliant climber. She actually cut her leg earlier today. It wasn't very bad, just a scratch. But as you were saying, it can be a dangerous game, this speed climbing.
It's a tricky game. You've seen quite some injuries, but most of the injuries are actually just minor injuries.
Are there any ways to mitigate those injuries?
Oh, definitely. I use thicker gloves, and personally I use protection on my legs as well. I've got cut-proof pants.
Really?
And I think I recommend it to everybody else because I don't want to have the ice axe through my leg. I want to go by ice climbing a little longer than just today.
I can understand why you wouldn't want an ice axe through your leg.
It kind of hurts.
Yeah. So what do the cut-proof pants feel like? What are they? Do they slow you down or?
Not really. They use them with speed ice gliding as well.
Okay.
That's where I got them from. So it's a combination of aramid and other fibers that make it cut-proof. They're flexible, so they've got flexible fibers in them as well. So it doesn't really block me in my movements. Not
Interesting.
So no. And
Maybe we can expect to see something like that becoming mandatory in the next years.
I kind of hope so. I think it makes the sport a lot safer.
Yeah, and of course, if the sport's delayed, and or rather, not the sport, but if an event's delayed due to an injury or something like that, then that can affect broadcast. So, I suppose in general, an increase in safety measures where possible isn't a bad thing.
You have to get a hold on it. You have to get a hold on this kind of pen. So not everybody's. It's not easy to get a hold on it. You have to find other sports where it's being used already. Yeah, it's a good improvement. And some people are actually now using them. Same for the shin protection and the knee protection. The first time when I competed, nobody was actually using it, and now pretty much everybody is using it.
It's really nice to see that people are taking that safety element a little bit more seriously. Let's talk a little bit about the guys while we wait for Nayagi, her time to come through. There's some really strong guys in there. Is there anybody that stands out as good potential to be a winner?
Oh yes, we've got a couple of them. There's, for example, Vladislav. There are two Vladislav this time. The Vladislav Golub and the other Vladislav have both done really well on the World Cups before. Also, Radomir is a very good speed climber. So yes, there are a few Russians in between, but you'll be surprised this time maybe even by the Finnish climber Pauli, who's also been training on this kind of ice. So he might be, doing well, I don't know.
Pauli Salminen, of course, who we saw in Durango. He wasn't with us in Korea or China, but yeah, was with us in Durango and climbed really well there. It'd be great to see him do well tonight, and he's actually here with his kids. The whole family, the whole Salminen family, have come all the way from Finland to watch the competition tonight. So that looks more like Daria Kovář of Ukraine. Let's see what her first attempt looks like.
Yeah, she's running well up on the wall, looking for the right holds. She's having the right holds, actually. This is going pretty good so far. Ooh, looking and scratching. Interesting thing of those tools they're using is that they really bite into the ice. And because they bite, you can have more risky movements compared to the normal ice tools you would use on a normal ice climb.
She seems to have a fairly solid technique so far. Not the fastest that we've seen, but she's got good momentum. That's the curse of the commentator coming into play there. She's got good momentum and she has good coordination. I think we could expect to see a good second round from her.
Oh, definitely. And she grabbed the ice again with those tools so she can actually finish her round. Because normally if you fall off and you're all the way off the wall, then you can't finish your attempt, unfortunately.
So as long as the one ice tool stays in, then you can continue.
Exactly.
There is Olga Kozek of Poland. Olga, of course, a very familiar face in the UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup circuit. Olga's 25. She did compete in Durango and also in Beijing and also in Cheongsong. Back in Durango, she came fourth in the ply speed comp there, which didn't count as a UIAA ranked competition. She came 8th in Beijing and 10th in Cheongsong, so really good so far and definitely a finals contender.
Oh, definitely she is. And she's going fast. And she's had a lot of training, of course, by competing in all the other World Cups. And it helps a lot. So you get used to the rhythm. You get used to how the movement is going to work out. And she's getting it dialed more and more. And every year she's getting a little better.
Well, Olga Kozek just getting her rhythm there, finding that in that first attempt. Let's see what time she comes back in with, and let's take a quick look at what times have gone registered so far. Currently in 4th place, Naya Yagi is with 1 minute 17.98, just shy of 1:18. Shabnam Asadi sitting in 3rd place of Iran with a 1:16.28. Alala Kazimi with 1:15.87, and Daria Kovář, who was our last climber before Olga Kozek, currently sits in 1st place with a 42.89. I think we can safely say we are going to see some faster times than that within maybe the second and third rounds, and who knows, maybe even in this first round. On the screen now, Vivienne Labarille, our one and only Swiss athlete that's made the speed finals this evening. Young climber. This is her first event of the season, and I believe her first international speed competition. Might be mistaken there. It's definitely her first finals. So let's see what she makes of this initial attempt.
Yeah, I think I've seen her speed climbing before. I definitely have met her 2 years ago. And that was a small competition in Switzerland with just speed climbing, and she'd been training there very well. She's indeed very young, but look how she goes already. And for this age.
Really nice start for her. Moving pretty methodically, quick foot movement, which will stand her in good stead as she needs to move faster. Big reach there. Whilst that's a good move, it's not very good for keeping the momentum. The arms bent, giving you more explosive power.
It's a good thing she's only looking up. She's only looking at where her axis has to be placed.
Just trusting that foot placement, and that's a pretty good time there. I think that could be a good start for her with her first attempt. Now on the screen, very popular French climber. Great to see a smile from her. It's her first international season, and Marion Thomas, 21-year-old French athlete, has done wonders so far this year.
Oh yeah, she's a great athlete, and she's so enthusiastic in everything she does. Over here in the speed climbing, she's actually liking everything. She's like a real athlete, really wanting to become better, really wanting to learn new things, and that's a really positive attitude she has.
Well, look at that sprint start from Marion Thomas of France, moving really well in these initial phases, and like you said, Marianne, she's looking up just like Labarille was and trusting those feet, placing those hands accurately, looking really good. Bit of a cross move there as she moves to the right, but looking solid. Best way is up. She's traversing around, but that's no problem. This is a fast time, probably the fastest we've seen so far. Come on, Marianne, keep it together. Almost finished, and there you go.
Oh, good one.
Just slipping below the top there. Awesome start for Marion Thomas, and let's see where that puts her when that result comes in.
That was a very good climb.
Careful there, she just disappears behind the wall. Vivienne Labarille currently sitting in first place with a 41.92. I think Marion Thomas is going to be ahead with that attempt.
Oh, we're definitely getting into the 30-second ones instead of the 40-second ones that we're having right now. And I think we're even going to go faster in the third attempt.
I'll tell you what, I hope so. I'm really looking forward to seeing some fast attempts this evening. Hopefully the other competitors can give the Russians a run for her money. And speaking of the Russians, here is Miss Bogdan, Valeria Bogdan.
Very young climber.
Brilliant climber, especially for such a young talent. She's small, she's light, but she's very, very fast. Let's watch Valeria Bogdan with her first attempt in this speed final.
And Maria is training her.
Maria Tolokanina?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, well, we already mentioned what a CV she has. Not a bad person to have as your mentor.
Oh, definitely. And look how she's going on her first speed climb there already. Nice.
And we say it's the first because, of course, the qualifiers was started on a different wall. It was outside on what they call the old wall.
It's also ice. It's natural ice, but still, it's a different route. It's a different style. You really have to figure out your own style again on this new wall. So it's like a new competition for most of the athletes.
Well, you wouldn't know it because Valeria Bogdan just smashed it.
Wow.
With her first attempt. We're waiting for that time to come in, but that was very, very quick. She doesn't even look very calm, very casual, taking it all in her stride. Let's see a quick replay of those final moves. Great angle from above there. The guys from QTV Sports doing wonders as always. That's that finish. Awesome work there from Valeria Bogdan, who races into the lead.
And
first place
time.
with 22.12 seconds, ahead of Marion Thomas with 28.86. Next up, we should have Karolina Matuskova, a Czech climber, our first and only Czech female through to the finals this evening. And in fact, it's the first Czech athlete we've had on the circuit this year, which is great to see new nationalities joining us.
It's not the first time a Czech athlete is joining, though.
This season.
But this season, yeah. We have really good Czech athletes in the past, like Lucy Hrusova.
Of course. And she's moving really well to start.
Nice. That's not bad. A little bit tricky though with the crossing with the ice axis.
Matuskova, a much taller athlete than some of the other people that we've seen so far. Interesting to see how she moves and how she's placing her body differently.
Yeah, the taller athletes definitely use a different technique. They don't need to be as explosive, and the body movement looks a little slower, but it is not necessarily slower.
Because they might be covering the same amount of ground with less moves.
Definitely, yes.
Interesting. Lots of different subtleties to observe as we see each climber tackle this speed route in their own way. And of course, there's Nadezhda Galyamova. Nadia done brilliant this season. She's had a really strong start to the Ice Climbing World Cup. Great to see. Nadia Galyamova, of course, who came third in Beijing and took a bronze medal, fourth in Cheongsong, and did take the silver medal in that first round of Durango. Last year, Nadia finished fourth overall, again with a third place in Bozeman, Montana. Let's see what she makes of this first route here in Saas Fee.
Oh, that's very close.
Not ideal to be swinging off that early, but she's held it and she's moving well now.
Oh, it's very good. She's finding back her rhythm. It's really difficult after you've just almost fallen off, and then finding back your rhythm like she does right now is really good.
She's recomposed herself really well there. Nadia Galyamova, very vertical style, but very quick. I think that'll put her in the top 10 to start.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a top 10 climb. It didn't look too difficult for her. She doesn't look too tired right now.
Very nice, Nadia. I like Nadia. She's always smiling. She's always very friendly. Let's see those last moves as she powers up through that last section, finding her pace, totally focused. Boom, top. Awesome work. Great. Next out, we're going to have Iranian climber Zeynep Kobur-Musavi, our third Iranian climber of the evening.
And this is not her first climb ever, so she knows what she has to do.
Very powerful start, very quick sprint start there.
Tricky start in the ice, where you hardly have any footholds. You really have to hold in.
Oh no, she's down. That's her attempt over. Now, because of the difference in format, I'm not 100% sure, and I wonder if you are. Normally with a speed competition, if you fall off in the first attempt, you're disqualified.
Yes.
Do you think that counts here with this format?
Well, I'm not really sure, because in the qualification, you were not off.
Well, maybe we can at some point find a judge. They do pop in and out of our commentary position over here. When we spot a judge, I'm going to grab them and I'm going to ask them. So, Marianne, you keep your eye open, I'll keep mine open. Maybe we can catch Giga, the president of the jury, the judges at some point. In the meantime, Mira Alhonsro is climbing our finisher. Oh no!
Oh no, that's a pity.
That's a really bad start for Mira Alhonsro. Hopefully that isn't her final.
Oh, but she's still happy. Ooh, it looks like she cut herself in her arm.
I've just found the information that they're not disqualified, so that's good. She will be allowed to climb again. Let's hope that there isn't too much damage to that arm. It was just hopefully a little nick. Next up, of course, Mariam Filipova, very strong Russian athlete. She won the overall speed competition back in 2012.
Oh, she definitely knows what to do.
Yeah, she knows exactly what to do, and there's that signature Russian style. Driving with the leg, pulling with the arm at the same time, throwing themselves up the wall almost. Filipova just dropped there.
And she's not just using her arms to climb, she's really pushing out of her legs to get higher. And there's a top. Good.
Great work from Filipova, and let's see what that looks like on the rankings. In first place at the moment, as it stands, Valeria Bogdan of Russia with 22 seconds. Nadia Galyamova in second with 25.92. Marion Thomas in third with 28. I think Filipova could be in a contender for that top three there. Let's wait and see for that result to come in. In the meantime, Miss Feoktistova. Funny story about Katia, who's on your screen right now. I have told it a couple of times, but in case this is the first time you've tuned in, when I saw Katerina for the first time this year in Beijing, we were in the airport, and I said, Katia, it's great to see you, how are you? And she just looked me deadpan in the eye and said, fast. I was like, oh, okay, good. So she's hoping definitely to take gold medal this season, and after taking silver last week in Cheongsong, she's got
She's close.
She's got intentions here.
Yes, she's very focused.
She has a motive, and there's a pretty casual top for her there.
That was nice. She went for the security of at least topping out once, and she'll become faster, I'm sure.
I'm sure too. And you see that focus in those eyes, staring down that finishing target. To give you some information, the start of the route begins when the athlete passes through the gate. That's when the timer begins. So once they're on the wall, the timer's already running. So if you're slow up that ramp and you're wasting time, and the timer stops when the climber hits that metal box at the top, it connects with the end timer. And here's a Katarina Kosheva. Brilliant sprint start from her there. And of course, a little stumble from Kosheva. Moving well though.
Oh, she's moving really, really well. She's really jumping with her feet, really pushing out, getting a lot of reach out of there.
Very quick.
Be a very fast time.
Very fast time indeed. Let's see what that looks like when the results come in. We are, just so you know, having some slower internet connection issues at the moment, so when the results refresh, we'll be able to give you them when we have them. You can check on a faster connection at home at www.results.theuiaa.org. Why not get in touch as well? It's always great to hear from you guys. You can do so by commenting on the live feed on Facebook. You can tweet us, use the hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing, or you can also in the live chat leave a comment. We love to hear from you guys. We'd love to give you a shout out. There's some big names in there who I've seen every broadcast so far. Navid Abdulvan, for example. Dennis Van Hoek, I don't know if you've heard of him.
No, never heard of him.
Okay, Stanislav Fativ's got in touch. Misha's got in touch. Lots of people getting in touch. You can do the same. And we'll do our best to give you a shout out and say hello when we can. In the meantime, Kendra Stritch is... Oh no, Kendra's off.
Oh, pity for Kendra.
That's a shame.
She just took the risk.
As we said, that isn't her competition over. She does have 2 more attempts. Where in some competitions, when they fall, that's it over. Here, they will be allowed to continue competing. They'll be allowed to do all 3 attempts, regardless of the fall. So we'll see Kendra in another 18 climbers' time. And next up, we're going to see Maria Tolokanina. There goes Maria Tolokanina, just kicking a big chunk of ice away there, but managing to stay composed. Look at that. Having some real trouble. That left heel exploding twice. 3 times. That left hand having some real trouble, but when she finds her pace, she is so quick. Clawing her way up that ice fall. Oh no, she falls again. Right tool this time. There's the top.
It's not her best time.
Definitely not her best time.
She's not going to be really happy with this one, but she knows she can do better.
Luckily, she still has 2 more attempts to go, so no big problems there. We have Anik Lith commenting. Do you know Anik?
Yes, of course.
Anik
I know
says,
Anik.
Go Dennis and Marianne. Would you like to give her a message?
Yes, of course. Anik, and we're missing you over here. You should have been over here on the World Cup as well.
You can do it in Dutch.
Instead of Norway. Oh, she knows English good enough.
Good. And of course, Dennis Van Hoek.
Yes, Dennis. Dennis is watching what he has to do later on today. And it's a cool thing. He just won the Sportsman of the Year award
he didn't.
in his own town tonight. So his parents picked up the prize.
Dennis is Dutch Sportsman of the Year.
Yes.
Love that.
That's pretty cool though.
That's incredible.
And he's going to climb the finals tonight.
Brilliant. Well, I'm very excited to see Dennis, and of course he's a great competitor. Hopefully he'll do well, and maybe we can even catch him for a few words after. In the meantime, we're on our second rotation now, and we have, of course, bib number 129, Alala Kazemi.
And she's going secure over there. She knows the ice axe is holding the ice. Oh, but just a little bit too much crossing there.
So that's her down, but she will be allowed to compete again, of course, with that 3rd attempt. So no big stress, just means that they've got to make that 3rd one count.
And she's got 1 time already, so she's at least secure. And it's the next one from Japan. Yagi
Yagi of Japan, who we've seen at every competition so far. one of a good number of competitors that we've seen at the whole tour this year. It's really nice to see so many people regular at each competition. It really becomes the tour family, if you like.
Yeah, and more professional as well, that they can actually go to all these competitions and compete everywhere around, been training for the whole year, and that's good. And she's been really improving. I remember her very first time, she was just using the normal ice axes and normal crampons on the ice, and see what she's got right now and how she's moving. She's moving a lot faster than on her very first attempt.
Saas Fee and of course the specialized speed crampons.
And she's using a different technique than she used to. She's jumping with her feet, and it's a new thing she's doing. And I think it's helping her. It's making her a little faster than she used to be.
Well, it's great to see. And she finished 9th in Durango, the first comp of the season in December, at the wonderful Scar Brewing Company. She finished 11th in Beijing, the CMA school playing host, and of course that incredible ice structure in the Yunmeng Valley. And she finished 15th in Cheongsong last week. Gosh, do you know what? Saying last week makes me feel a little bit, I don't know. It's hard to believe it was a week ago. A lot jet lagged. Oh gosh. I mean, in fact, that's a question I'd like to ask you, Marianne, because whilst you've not done all the comps this season, you were at them all last year. How hard is it to keep up with sleep, to remain in top physical condition when you are essentially battling jet lag pretty much on a weekly basis?
Oh, you get really, really tired. You have to have a lot of sleep. You have to have a lot of rest and eat well, sleep well, not travel as much. So try to travel as little as possible, take breaks in between, and that's really helping a lot. So, but it's difficult at the same time, especially when you're abroad and you're eating different food and you're sleeping in a different bed. So you have to be fit at the start. You have to be top fit or overfit, basically, when you start the whole season.
And you might have just seen on the screen there our segment sponsors, and do pay attention to those. They will be popping up intermittently throughout the broadcast. But also pay attention to the climbers. Shabnam Asadi of Iran, competing at the moment. She's on her second attempt. As we mentioned before, all the climbers will have 3 attempts at this speed route. They compete individually. We cycle through the climbers 1 through 18, and the fastest 8 will be taken through to the finals.
Yeah, and she had a bit of a difficult start here. The ice in the start seems really difficult, and it's hard to find the rhythm back. But she's finding her rhythm back, and she's actually moving steadily. Now moving on to the last section. Here in the white ice. The white ice is a little brittle, so it's difficult to find the good holds. The holds have to be big. And one final move, and then she jumps probably to the top. Yeah, there she goes. Very good.
So we can look back now at our first round of rotations, get those words out properly. Our top 3 from that was entirely Russian. We had Valeria Bogdan in 3rd place with a 22:12 fastest time. Maria Tolokanina in 2nd place with a 21:67 fastest time. First place, Miss Katarina Kusheva in 17:41. Very quick, in fact, 4 seconds faster than anybody else. And it was Katarina Kusheva that won last year here.
So it might be her ice, it might be her style.
Maybe it is this type of ice and venue that really suits Kusheva as a climber. We'll have to wait and see. But with that first place so far, she's a likely candidate to be seen in the finals shortly.
And they're jumping up. You see the foot movement, they're really kicking in. Oh, that's a tricky one. Her ice axe got stuck there in the ice, but moving up a lot further. Not making very, very big moves. Oh, there she even hacks into the ice instead of just hooking in the ice to make a better placement. She knows that the ice is not that well good over there. Oh, and just got it still. Very close to the top right now. Now don't make mistakes. Oh, and there she goes, unfortunately.
So tricky to avoid making those mistakes, but Daria Kovaj of Ukraine will have one more attempt. She did that first route in 42 seconds, which was enough, that 42-second time, to put her in top 10. Of course, it is the top 8 that go through, so she'll have to pull something out of the bag if she wants to be amongst the finalists. The top 8 from the first round was mixed with a Czech climber, Karolina Matuskova, and also Marion Thomas. But next up, we have got Vivienne Labarille of Switzerland. Vivienne, who finished in the top 9 of the first attempt with a 41.92. She'll be looking better, hopefully, for this second attempt.
Oh, she uses a different tactic. You see she's going, instead of on the left side, she's going on the right side up. See if that goes anything better and anything faster. Because the ice is changing every time. If there are 10 people over the ice is different again. So you have to read the route again. Oh, and they're across. Most of the people don't try to cross over. It's a tricky movement. But she goes on again. And still has the rhythm over there. Looking up and just looking up. Keeps on moving with her feet very well.
It's going to be a huge jump for the top.
And there she jumps.
There's the top. I don't think that's going to be faster than her first time. On the first attempt, she opted for the left-hand side, but obviously she's seen a lot of climbers falling on that left side and opted to go right instead.
It's a smart tactic, I think. Once you've done that a couple times on that side, they might have bigger holes and might even go faster.
Well, there is Marion Thomas. Marion, no stranger to competitions, despite being relatively new to the ice climbing competition scene. She used to compete for France in both speed and lead in rock climbing or indoor climbing, sport climbing maybe we'll say. I believe the Olympics are calling it sport climbing.
Yeah.
Marion opting for that left side of the wall, falling to start but managing to recompose.
Oh no! And a big block of ice broke off.
That left side is just collapsing.
Yeah, it's getting tricky over there.
Hopefully she's okay. That'll be disappointing, but she can rest up, recompose herself, put another big effort in for the second attempt. Third attempt.
And there's the young Russian girl again. See if she can do a bit better.
Valeria Bogdan.
Yes. Really focused.
Sprints off the start.
Left side again. The good thing of starting on the left side is that you know kind of where you have to go. She's going for security, but she's going really fast if this is a secure one. Ooh, tricky in the ice.
Only 17 years old, Valeria Bogdan.
Very young climber.
Very, very well there.
Yeah, but she's going well for 17.
In fact, I don't think she's 17, I think she's 16.
Really?
My maths is bad, right? Because I like run into a little secret. I have a special spreadsheet with lots of information on it, and it works out people's ages. But I'm using a different spreadsheet for Valeria's age because it wasn't on my spreadsheet, and this one doesn't work it out. Here's some maths for you. You can join in on this little quiz at home. If someone was born on the 22nd of August 2000, how old does that make them today? I think that makes her 16.
Yeah, just put it on our social media channels.
Pretty sure she's 16 years old, and instead of talking about her age, let's talk about Karolina Matuskova, Czech climber who's looking to better her initial time of 41.57, using those long limbs to power herself up that wall. Just struggling to find a placement for the left tool, but she's moving okay.
She had some advantage there in the start with her length, though.
She
starting
can really
on the
bypass
left.
those tricky sections where the ice is more
she
brittle.
Just hangs on. Come on.
Great shoulder strength there to whip herself back round and continue climbing. Big jump for the top, just misses it.
Oh, and again, come on. Oh.
Losing crucial seconds there.
There she loses indeed a lot of seconds.
That's a real shame for Karolina Matuskova.
Nadia again.
So
Next
Nadia
up.
Galyamova is preparing herself for her second route.
Really focused again, looking where she has to go.
Staring that route down, getting herself ready to go, and off she goes. Interesting, the climbers. I've seen a few now. Marion Thomas did it, and Karolina Matuskova did it as well. They kind of hook sideways on that start move around the back of the ice.
There's like a little ice cave in there.
Yeah.
So instead of hooking onto the ice cave itself, you hook sideways to get your other ice axe in further and higher. And there steady climb.
Great time there, I think, for Nadia Galyamova. I think that'll be decent enough.
But she can be faster than this.
For sure. Maybe she's just saving it, just making sure that she can qualify.
But if she qualifies, then she's still got a few rounds to go to be in the first 8 and then go on again. And she's 5th right now on the ranking.
She is 5th.
25.92.
When these athletes are falling, I know we talked a little bit about it in practice. Oh, look at that, there's a hashtag on the screen. UIAA ice climbing if you want to get involved in the social media. Back to the question. When these athletes fall, especially during the competition, you know, second attempt or even first attempt, is that going to knock their confidence for those faster attempts later?
Yes. Well, it depends on your mindset at the moment. Like if you fall right now, which it's unfortunate that she falls though, but maybe it drives her strength. Maybe it drives her like, oh, I really have to be faster and get a better challenge into it.
That was Zeynep Kobra-Musavi's second route and her second fall.
Yep, she has to go secure in her next round.
Kind of proving the point there. So she's got one more attempt. Well, does she go secure in the next round? Because if she goes secure, she's got a pretty good idea that she needs to be faster than 40 seconds to get in.
Yep.
She's going to have to go hell for leather. It's all or nothing, I think.
So maybe still a muerte.
A muerte indeed. And here is Mira Alfonso.
Also choosing the right side. Not bad. She's moving steadily, she's moving up steadily, but still tricky. Oh, the rope was a little bit in the way, that's the annoying thing. Well, everything is on top rope. That, of course, that's the safest thing. You have to have a rope on, so there has to be a rope somewhere. Tricky again.
Mira Alfonso smacks the top with conviction.
Yeah, good one.
Looks back down towards the judges then. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but we'll be able to find out what's going on. Mira Alfonso, who currently doesn't sit in a ranking because she fell on her first attempt, will get a ranking there for her second attempt. To give you the top 8 as it stands. There we go, it's refreshed. That was very quick, love that. So Mira now sits in 8th place with a 33-second time. Mariam Filipova on the screen now, getting off to a strong start. As it stands, we've got Mira Alfonso in 8th, Marianne Thomas in 7th, Katerina Feoktistova in 6th, Nadia Galyamova in 5th, Mariam Filipova in 4th, Maria Tolokanina in 3rd, Valeria Bogdan in 2nd, Katerina Kosheva in 1st, and Nadia Galyamova looking to better that time, Mariam Filipova looking to better that first time, fall in there, so she'll just stick with her 22.77 to start.
Which is not a bad time.
Currently,
she can definitely make it to the finals with that time.
4th place, and there is Feoktistova preparing to climb. Of course, as we mentioned before, she was overall speed climbing championship in 2015.
And she's focused. She's focused on the route. I think she's going for the left side as well.
She does go for the left side, opting for the familiar. Presses up hard. Really moving well on those early stages, just trying to find the best position. Kicking in. Feoktistova's looking in great shape now. This is a fast time. Drops that right hand, but manages to recompose herself. Land the left hand goes. You see that white ice exploding. Really brittle. The extra cold conditions causing the athletes a little bit of trouble. Finds the position and smacks the last timer. Let's see what that looks like. Great effort there from Feoktistova, even with some falls, managing to log what I think will be a fast time. To recap on her results from last year, she actually placed 1st in Cheongsong, she placed 6th in Saas Fee, she placed 2nd in Rabenstein, 1st in Chamonix and 4th in Kirov, and it was those results that tallied up to give her a 1st place, 7 points ahead of Katerina Kosheva.
Very close to each other.
And Kosheva, who placed 2nd that year, won a gold medal last year, Handa's won a gold medal this year, is now on the screen.
Oh, and jump! She jumped in the start. She did a full jump with her feet in the start just to get to the next
past
hold.
That bad section.
Very smart.
Oh wow, Kosheva's on it. She's just had a drink of rocket fuel because oh no, she's down. The only thing that I can, the only positive thing that I can say from all this is that at least as they're falling, they're pulling that brittle ice with them.
Yeah, and then the brittle ice is gone, so it can be better for the next round. And it's only getting better. Ooh, Kendra is
Kendra's
having
loving
fun.
it. Look at her. She's relaxed. She's having a sing-song.
She knows she has to do it right now because she fell in her first round. So this is the second one up. Still very happy, but she has to be focused right now.
So Kendra Stritch waits for that starting signal.
And runs up. Oh, that was a tricky start.
Just struggling with her foot in there, and you see that ice cave, the right foot not finding purchase, but still she's moving okay.
And there she had to find a new hold because the previous climber just broke off the hold over there. She's going into the right side.
These climbers
Back
having to
to the
move
left.
around a little bit, left to right, right to left, zigzagging up the wall to find those best positions.
And she's finding it. She's kicking hard with her feet. Just one jump going. And she's got a finishing time. That's a very good thing.
Well, she's logged her first finishing time of the finals here in speed, so that's great for Kendra. She will have to unleash the beast, I think, in the final attempt to really be in with a chance of making the final.
Yeah.
The final finals later on. I think we're going to call it the quarter-final.
Yes. Normally. I
Maria
think, yeah.
Tolokanina now, first place qualifier, moving very, very well. Oh no! Another section of brittle ice dropping away. The extra cold temperatures causing the athletes a little bit of problem. It is in the region of minus 20 degrees Celsius here. So that is making the ice extra brittle.
Yes, it becomes like porcelain in a way.
Bib number 129, Ilala Kasimi, getting ready to do her third and final attempt. Her best time so far, 1 minute and 15 seconds, so she'll be looking to better that. From that second round, no real change in the rankings. We still see the same top three, Kosheva, Bogdan and Tolokanina. The only difference being that Bogdan and Tolokanina have switched. So Bogdan now sits in second, Tolokanina in third. Let's see how they do with these third and final attempts of the speed route.
She's going for the left side as well, trying to take the holds that are still there. You have to go longer and longer. There are
Taking
less
care of those
holds.
brittle sections.
Yep.
Big fall there, but manages to hold it on that left arm.
But she holds on, so she can go on. That was very strong, though.
How painful is that? You know, how strenuous is that on the shoulder when that happens?
I think they're all strong enough to keep that on their shoulders.
That's good to see.
Yeah. It's more doing a lot with your motivation and with your focus that you fall off and that you have to keep on going. You have to get your mindset back into upwards again instead of the failing moment that you were just in.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kasimi moving well, sticking with it, persisting, good tenacity, and that can help an athlete out just as much as we're going really fast. Sometimes tenacity is better than skill. The will to just hold on, prevailing.
She does that well. Keeps on going, tries on finding the right holds.
Almost there for Kazemi.
And she's going for the final one.
There it is.
She goes. Not bad.
And that's her second top and her third and final attempt. We'll wait to see how that looks on the rankings. Next up we'll have Nayagi. Navid Abdulvand shouting, "Come on, Alala!" on YouTube. Don't forget you can get in touch on YouTube. And you can also get in touch on Facebook. And you can also get in touch on Twitter. Marianne, do you remember the hashtag?
UIAA ice climbing.
That's it. It's on the screen, so you can use that hashtag. Do it. Use it. Why not? Get creative. Send us a selfie of where you're enjoying this speed final from.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Hashtag UIAA ice climbing. Send us a selfie. That'll be belting. Meanwhile, Yagi will be climbing, Japanese climber. She's going to be trying to log her third time of the evening.
And she's using the little jumping technique with her feet again.
And so far she's been faster in her second attempt than her first. She finished 1:17.9 first time, 1:12.8 second time. Maybe we can see a faster time again in the third.
And it's interesting, she's using different holds as well. She's going all the way to the left. You saw most of the climbers starting on the left and then going a little bit through the middle section, but she's keeping on the left right now. And now she's going into the middle section, where there are apparently more holds. It's very difficult to see. But you don't need much for those ice tools. They really bite into the ice. And it's almost there, the very final bit. There's like one more move. Just one more. Go on. Just a little further. And
she's so close. There it is. Great
nice
effort.
one.
Now, the question is, will that have been faster than 1:12.86 and be a third and final PB for Yagi?
She looks a little tired there, but it's not so strange. We're pretty high up here. If you're not used to that, it's kind of tricky.
Well, Marianne, have you ever commentated before? Have you ever commentated before?
Nope, I haven't.
I have to say you're doing a flipping brilliant job. It's been a pleasure having you here so far. We still have another 15 climbers to go in this women's speed finals for their third and final attempt. Then we'll be going off air for about 10 minutes between the competitions. Will I have the pleasure of your company for the men's final?
Yes, please.
Excellent! That's good to know. Another fall there, unfortunately, for Shabnam Asadi. She did fall on her second attempt.
She's got a time.
She got 1:02 on her second attempt.
I thought so.
Now, someone that did fall on the second attempt, Daria Kovac. She placed 42.89 on her first one. Let's see what she's got for the second. So far, no change to the rankings with these third attempts. Great colour coordination on the shin pads and the harness there from Kovac. Colour coordination for me is one of the most important things.
Oh, definitely. It's just unfortunate they're all wearing black. They have to wear more colours. But her helmet is good. Her helmet is colourful. And she's moving nicely. Not the very fastest time though. But still jumping up. And she's also going for the middle section up here. A little bit more going left, just like Yagi did. And there are tricky holds.
Great finish there from bib number 110, Daria Kovac. Awesome effort from the Ukrainian climber.
And there Vivian goes again. She looks happy there.
She looks really happy. Great to see such a nice smile on her face.
Really struggling here, focusing.
Ready for some quick maths? She was born in 1998.
1998. I'm very bad in maths.
December 98.
December 1998. We've got some math people watching right now, haven't we? Can they just tell
Look
us?
Look at that place. Look at that helmet decoration.
Yeah, she's got good helmet decoration there.
What's that about?
She's just very girly. I don't know. And still she's going for the right section again.
And I tell you what I will say, Marianne, there's some great support from the crowd here, really getting behind her.
Yeah, she's got the local crowd over there, all the Swiss
very
people.
vocal.
They're all cheering for her. And it's really motivating. Oh, that's such a pity.
Great effort, and what a shame. Won't be a fairy tale final for Vivian Labarille, but never mind. Brilliant effort nonetheless with that 41.92 personal best. Here was that moment again. That ice breaking, the first the right and then the left, and that's just too much to try and compensate for there.
Yeah, you can be super strong, but if the ice breaks, that's just a gamble. But that's the same for everyone.
Let's see what Marianne Thomas can do. Of course, that second attempt, she unfortunately fell.
Tricky, but she's focused. She keeps on being focused there.
At the moment. There we go, looking better this time, Marianne Thomas.
Really pushing with her legs as well.
Needs to keep that pace up for the next few seconds.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Keep on running.
Marianne Thomas very close to the top now. Great pace, brilliant finish.
Very close.
No, she needs to get up there. That's going to cost.
No! What does she do?
So upsetting. We'll
she was so close. That would have been such a great run. Oh well, but she took the risk, and that's one of the things that is good. You have to take risks in this sport.
Her time of 28.86 still has her in 7th place at the moment, so he's therefore still enough to go through to the quarterfinals. Someone else who we might expect to see in quarterfinals is, of course, Valeria Bogdan, 16-year-old Russian. She is in 2nd place as it stands. I don't see that placement changing too much, getting her at the top 8. She did her first attempt within 22 seconds. Her second attempt, knocking 3 seconds off, she finished in 19 seconds. And I think now we might see an even faster attempt.
And it's one of her first ever competitions, so she can learn on every single move that she's doing right now. She can only get better at it. See how fast her arm movement is. She's already really jumping. And it's funny to see because she's got pretty much the same kind of technique as Maria has. And Maria is her coach. So it's not so strange. They're close to each other.
I didn't see whether she hit that timer or not then. Did you notice?
I don't think she hit
lunged
it.
for it, but it wasn't clear.
No, I think she didn't. If I look at her face right now, I'm seeing a little bit of disappointment. Now we can see it in replay.
Great angles. Oh,
I think she just missed it.
Well, regardless, she still sits in 2nd place. So not too worrying for her.
Now we're going to see a different technique again.
Karolina Matuskova of Czech
Long climber.
Moving really, really well at this stage. Kicking in hard.
She's making long moves, and it might be an advantage on this wall because not all the holds are as good. Oh, and holding on strong over there. Jumping again, come on.
Fall there, the athlete's really struggling with this brittle ice this evening.
And the crowd seems to be excited for her on the background. The cowbell ringing.
I can see a Czech flag waving as well somewhere.
Good one. Well, she's got time over there. Not sure if that's good enough for finals, do you think?
Very hard to say. She's not in the top 8 at the moment, as far as I'm aware, but we will be able to find out any second as to exactly where she is.
Let's refresh some results. You can do that back at home as well, of course. Results.uiaa.org.
I mean, obviously we've talked about the element of injury within speed climbing. How dangerous is it, really?
Well, everything is dangerous. Even driving a car is dangerous these days. So if you compare it, it's not that dangerous. And we have a lot of safety precautions that we take. And for example, if you look at the belaying and the rope is a little thicker than the average lead rope you're using. There are 2 belayers actually belaying you, and also the assuring system is with 2 carabiners instead of 1. So that kind of things is not so dangerous, but still the ice axes are razor blades. They're super sharp.
So the main danger is really being kicking yourself with a crampon or stabbing yourself with a tool.
I think the tool thing is the most tricky thing for sure. Yeah, the crampons isn't so much because the competitors are wearing high boots, so you don't easily get your crampon into your shin or into your calf or anything. It's just really those ice axes.
Oh no. That's 3 falls.
That's unfortunate for
her.
her. Yes.
Real shame for her. Just not her day at the speed competition here.
But the thing she did was well, I think, because the only thing she could do was go for it.
Yeah.
And that's what she did.
Of course. And full credit to the young Iranian.
And, well, here Mira seems to be recovered from her little cut in her arm. So
Hopefully
she's
she
going
got some
again.
medical attention.
She seems focused and happy
Smile
there.
on the face, and she's enjoying herself, and that's great to see.
And they're also going for that side.
Really good put.
Come on, girl. Get it in there. Good one.
Really struggling with those first moves.
Oh, she's swinging the tool. It's really difficult to swing with those very short tools. You don't really have a momentum on the tools, but sometimes you just have to. When there really is no hole to grab, you have to swing those tools.
These tools designed, of course, for hooking rather than swinging. placing within the holes that are already existing in the ice and pulling on them as fast as you can. Muriel Honswell demonstrating that technique perfectly. Oh no!
No. She almost made it over there. She was getting a rhythm actually. It was not so bad. Or at least she tried, and she knows she tried.
Her fastest time of the evening. In fact,
I'm not
did she log
sure
a time?
if she made a time. Did she make a time in the second one? I'm not sure actually.
Our results page, unfortunately, our internet connection, not ideal, has gone down. So we can't tell you for certain. We are writing notes, but the official results page is down here. We're having some issues with our internet.
Miriam again.
But here's Mariam Filipovic.
And pushing hard again, hard with our legs as well. You have to on this wall, because you can't all get it out of your arms over there.
Great technique from Mariam Filipovic.
She's getting a good rhythm over there. Oh, very close. And again, it's good she's getting back in the rhythm for the last couple of moves.
It's a fast time there.
That's a pretty fast time, yeah. We're moving on to the final competitors in the women's field for this qualification, or for this second final round. They've got 3 attempts, and the fastest attempt counts.
And there's Katarina Feltistova.
Oh, she's having a fast start there. The fast run in the start will really help you. It takes you seconds less. But there a fall. She took a lot of risk, but that's what you need to do. That's what speed climbing is about. It's a little bit of taking
qualified
risk.
Anyway, so no big stress for her.
Nope.
Just nipping up to get her tool.
Oh well.
So we've got 3 more athletes now: Katarina Feltistova, Katarina Kusheva, Kendra Stritch and Maria Tolokanina. Of course, my maths on point as always. That would be 4 athletes, wouldn't it?
No.
3.
She just went.
Oh
She
yeah, of
just
course.
fell.
Even better maths.
So 3 athletes to go.
Kusheva
And now
on the screen.
we know she's fast, hoping she gets into the... Oh, you see there's even creating a hole there in the ice at the start. Oh, it's unfortunate. But the tactique in the start at the first round doesn't work anymore, and you see that very clearly right now. You really have to find a new rhythm, a new route over there, and she just didn't find it.
No problem for Kusheva, she still qualifies, and as you see on your screen now, big thank you to our segment sponsors, Del Rasso, the Restaurant, Pizzeria and Spaghetteria based out of Saas Fee. Big thank you to those guys for their support.
Sounds good for pizza.
Wouldn't mind a little gluten-free pizza myself now, that'd be great. If the guys at Del Rasso are listening,
And
we're in the
Kendra.
commentary booth on floor number 9.
Oh, no.
Kendra Stritch having an absolute nightmare!
No, Kendra. That's unfortunate. She even lost her Isaacs over there. Not
Really
holding it.
unfortunate, and I think that's going to be the end of her speed competition here.
Yeah, I think she knows it. She looked like, oh well, I did my best, but couldn't do it all. And that's the final one for this round. Maria Tolokonina.
Maria Tolokanina looking to log a 3rd final time. Move as
And
fast
that's
as possible.
good. You saw she made a different start again. She started in the middle over there, using a different tactic.
Really, really fast from Maria Tolokanina of Russia. Of course, we know this girl can go. She's got more overall titles and speed than anyone. And that was an awesome finish from Maria Tolokanina. That summarises our final for the women. We will have a quarter-final, semi-final and super-final very shortly. In 10 minutes' time, we'll be back with the men's finals. So don't go anywhere, and we look forward to seeing you in about 10 minutes. Marianne, thank you for joining me for this one, and I'll see you in 10 minutes' time.
Yes, thank you too, Liam.
Set in the middle of this concrete donut, the multi-stories of the car park offer unprecedented views of the course, and the crowds flock there in their thousands to see some of the most thrilling ice climbing in the world. When the sun goes down, it's also the scene of some seriously wild parties. Mine's a small glühwein. Cheers. In my hand, tourism videos. What do you, Marion? Did you like the look of that beautiful video about Saas Fee?
Yes, of course, it's Saas Fee.
It's such a beautiful place here. They really know how to pick the venues on the Ice Climbing World Cup, and as we mentioned before, Saas Fee, one of the oldest venues, if not the oldest venue on the tour, with 18 years, we think, of competitions at this venue.
Yeah, right now it's the oldest one for the World Cups at least. Ravenstein is a little older as well. In Champagny there have been a few competitions. It's going all around actually, but Saas Fee is like the classic one, and also with the town around, the super classic Wallis town, that's just really lovely.
I love the electric taxis. I think I've come a little bit close to getting run over by them a few times, but yeah, I'm a big fan of those electric taxis. So we're almost ready back here in Saas Fee to get underway with the men's ice speed finals. There's 18 men that will be competing for a place in the quarterfinals. A little bit confusing terminology. Those guys will be, the top 8 will be going through. Our internet connection has been restored up here in our commentary position. As you look at that picture there on the left hand side, you see that big shelf. We are sat just behind that, just to give you an idea of where we are. We can't actually see the competition as it happens. We can only see what's going on the screen, same as what you guys see. But I'm not complaining because I'm very warm in here. I'm very well looked after, aren't we, Marianne?
Yeah, we can see a little bit of the structure though, but we just can't see the top. We can see the middle section.
Yeah, we get the middle section.
And we see the whole crowd that is growing and growing around us. There are more and more people watching the whole competition. And of course, it's the men's finals. You have to be here. If you're close, you have to come and watch this. Not just on a live stream, but in real life. It's great to see.
And just to remind you, I'm joined this evening by Marianne van der Steen of Holland. My name's Liam Lonsdale. I will be your host, presenter, commentator for the rest of the evening and of course the rest of the tour. Alexi Tomiloff looking a bit tired there with a big yawn on the right hand side. We just had the women's speed finals, the top 8 of which has been decided, and in fact I can give you that top 8. In 8th place from the final round, I'll tell you what, of all the times for a computer to not freeze, now's one of them. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
In 8th place, look at that, Kendra Stritch qualified.
She made it.
Her fastest time with 31 seconds. Marion Thomas of France in 7th. Her fastest time 28 seconds. No. Okay, it just refreshed.
Oh no.
Okay, let's try and find those again. Having a couple of issues with the internet, as I mentioned before here. Great to see so many people out to watch it tonight, as you said. So, here we go. 8th place, Kendra Stritch. 7th place, Marion Thomas. 6th place, Katarina Feoktistova. 6th place, Feoktistova. 5th place, Marion Filipova. 4th place, Valeria Bogdan. 3rd place, Nadia Galyamova. 2nd place, Maria Tolokanina. And 1st place, even after falling twice, fastest this year.
Still got this good time.
Fastest last year in Saas Fee, Katarina Kosheva. Now to the men's competition.
Yes, now to the men's competition indeed. 18 finalists.
First man, Czech athlete. Great to see another Czech athlete climbing. It'll be Mr. Milan Dvoracek.
From Czech Republic. He was probably the ones with the cowbells earlier, but now running for his own run.
Somebody else has got the cowbells.
There he goes. And the ice is so tricky. I just walked down and looked at the ice and how it looks actually from close by. And you really have to hook well on this ice.
Big frame on this guy, very, very larger athlete in terms of his shoulder size, in terms of his height. But as we said before, the taller athletes aren't at a disadvantage. You know, they've got the ability to pull, do less moves, more time, less moves. So great effort there from Milan Dvoracek. We will have a Swiss climber next. We're going to be joined by Samuel Clavien.
Samuel Clavien,
Looking forward to seeing him competing today.
Bit of a local over here. He even's got his own holds up here at the wall. So, yeah, he should have a chance.
And of course, when the locals climb here, the crowd get very vocal and very excited. So let's see what Sam Clavien can do on his first attempt at this speed route. Opting for the right hand side to start. Bit of a pop with the right hand tool, but
and one again.
he's moving really fast, but just seems to be struggling finding his purchase. It's really tricky because actually,
Oh, kicking hard with his feet, but
that's
it's
really
difficult.
frustrating. He looked really solid up until he fell, and it just was the moments of not being able to find purchase that he was struggling with. His actual technique was brilliant.
He's using the flat crampons as well. There are two different types of crampons that people are using. Some are still using the monopoints, but that's not really the fastest ones that are using the monopoint crampons. In this speed climbing, you have actually the flat crampons, the horizontal ones. And you see this very clear in the replay that is using those flat crampons.
Here's Tristan Ladovant. Tristan's made speed finals once this year already, and we know that he can move quickly. Struggling a little bit with that brittle ice, but moving all right so far. Tristan Ladovant, the 18-year-old French lad, moving really well at this point.
Short movements, which is
Great
good.
finish, strong finish there from Ladovant. Let's see where that puts him in the overall ranking.
Good replay over there. You see he's using different crampons over here. He's using the double point crampons, but not the completely flat ones. It's a different tactic.
Next up, we have got Andreas Gantner.
From Liechtenstein.
Great to see so many nationalities making it through to the last 18 here.
You saw on the start, on the first move, that he was super focused, and he actually keeps this focus. Even though he slips a couple of times, he keeps on moving on, really pushing with his legs every time again. Has a sideway movement on his legs, and ticks on the top. That's good.
Strong finish, not a bad effort there for his first route.
No, not bad at all.
Next out, we'll be joined by Mr. Igor Trapeznikov.
Former winner of this competition, I believe.
Exactly, yes, that was
Yeah.
took the words out of my mouth. Igor Trapeznikov.
He is incredibly strong, and he really definitely focuses on the speed climbing.
And in fact, in 2013, Igor Trapeznikov took the overall title, and you can see why as he powers up the wall in phenomenal style. Brilliant pace for the Russian. Oh no!
Oh no!
Snatched away
He had such a good
in
rhythm
the
there.
final meters of that speed route. It'll be interesting to see how that affects him in this next attempt. Marianne, while we're waiting for the next climber, I have a question for you. How did you get into ice climbing?
That's an interesting story. I actually started ice climbing when I was living in Iceland.
Love that.
It's very far away. You can do a lot of sports climbing there in summertime and bouldering, of course, but I just wanted to go into the outdoors in the wintertime as well. So that's where I started.
And now
that's
you're here at the World Cups.
Yeah, that's only 8 years ago.
Wow.
So
8 years ago, and then you're smashing it at the World Cups. And speaking of smashing it, Mr. Masood Zainali of Iran. Great athlete, Masood. Really fun guy on the circuit. Always a good laugh. It was his birthday last weekend in Cheongsong. Oh no, he's out of there. Masood Zainali having a nightmare on those first meters.
that's a pity he has there. He can be pretty fast, actually.
He can be fast, and in fact he finished, I think it was 10th last week in Cheongsong. Might have made that up, it wouldn't be the first time. I'll have a look at my results in a second. Next up we will have, of course,
My favorite,
Who's that then?
Dennis van Hoek, of course,
Dennis
from
van
the
Hoek.
Netherlands.
Right. Oh, there's a look.
He won 4 years ago, and I'm really hoping that he's going to do that
You
again.
seem to know a lot about Dennis. Right.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of that we live together.
Ah, right, okay. Did
so-
did the directors and producers mention that you have to remain impartial at all times?
Oh, that's the thing.
Here goes Dennis. Dennis is absolutely chipping. Go on, Marianne, you can do this bit.
You can't even see his
There he
body
is.
because the camera is gone.
Volunteer cameraman there having a bit of a nightmare. It's all good. Dennis van Hoek just trying to find his pace.
He's trying to find his pace, but he's really struggling.
There it is. Oh,
He can have a good pace, that's the funny thing. I'm not going to repeat what he said over there, but he's definitely not very happy with what he just did.
I think he just jumped off. Just annoyed with the stumbling. If you watch again, he just stumbled. Left went, right went. Yeah, and he just jumps off. He's like, forget it.
Yeah,
I don't
this is
blame
not
him.
his turn.
He can save his energy for a good run on the next round.
But he's just really motivated. He just wants to win again. Oh, and then we've got the
Next
next
up, Dresa
athlete.
Safdarian. Very, very talented competitor. Much better in lead than speed. But he's climbing really fast
but
at this
he's got
point.
a good rhythm
Look at him
over
go,
there.
he's like a Rasapadre pipe. Go on, Dresa Safdarian.
It's like a
Pushing hard
hamster.
now,
Come
very
on,
close
come on.
to the top. Boom.
And still has it. Not
Decent
bad.
work from Mohamed Reza Safdarian. Great work. Be very
That was a
interested
pretty
to
good
see where
attempt,
that puts
actually.
him. As it stands, our fastest three climbers are Milan Dvoracek, Andreas Gantner and Tristan Lodovo. We'll have to wait and see what the rest of the athletes do.
And again, a Russian athlete, Alexei Tomilov. An old one, he knows what to do over here. And he's won a couple times as well.
Alexei Tomilov, great strides, really powerful leg movements, using those broad shoulders and big arms to launch himself up the wall. Look at that! Very few movements to get up there, and he was in great shape. Awesome work from Alexei Tomilov.
Yep, he used there a lot of energy. You can see he's breathing a little heavier than average, of course, after such an attempt.
Very good movement there, and that's definitely going to put him into first place.
It's interesting, their leg movement. Some people have a very straight leg movement, but he's got a little bit of sideways leg movement. Actually, you see it here again. They move a little bit like ducks on a way. Doesn't really look too positive, unfortunately, but
I think
it works.
a good way to describe it would be an open hip as opposed to
Thank
closed
you.
hips.
That's positive.
Yeah, that's the
what
way
I
I've described it in
needed.
the past. The Russians all have that open hip style, really driving with the inside of the foot as opposed to front on and square on. And I think that allows them to counter their opposite arm. So when they drive with the right leg out wide, they can reach with the left arm really high. Whereas
They
when they
stabilize.
push with a straight on right leg, it pushes their body away, centre of gravity away, and slows them down. There's Pauli Salminen.
He did not bad at all, actually.
Now,
Ooh, there
number
we go.
32, the main man, of course,
Pavel.
it's Pavel Batashov. Pavel, who won last week in Cheongsong, has won overall titles.
Oh, look
He
at
is
his
absolutely
movement!
flying.
Wow, what a rhythm! Short movement, but so strong!
All right, Pavel, take it easy.
That's
Pavel.
an incredible time!
Unbelievably fast there from Pavel Batashev, and the crowd are loving that.
If I'm right, this was 9 seconds and 87 hundredths. And 9 seconds is pretty fast, of course. If we saw with the women's, we had 17 seconds. He almost, well, just half that time. But there we've got another fast climber.
Nikolai Kozlovlev, of course, took a gold medal in the first result of the season in Beijing.
And going fast, he's also got this rhythm.
Really good.
Oh!
He's out to there.
Well, that's the tricky thing of this rhythm. You don't have time to change the rhythm anymore once you've got it, and then sometimes when something goes wrong, then you're all the way out.
Kozlovlev, of course, speed champion overall in 2014 and 2015. No stranger to climbing extremely fast. Next up, another very fast Russian, Mr. Kulshagashev. Kirill Kulshagashev, of course, another gold medal winner, and he is absolutely flying. Look at that pace.
Oh, little flaw in there.
Attacking that wall. 11.40 there. I mean, the difference between what we saw in the women's first 18 and the men's first 18 is absolutely phenomenal. What I'm most excited about is to see what the top 8 look like.
This is an incredible difference. But they have a bit of advantage with the ice right now. A lot of bad ice has been kicked out, and therefore it's easier to find the right way. They have been watching the women as well. I heard a couple of tactics like, okay, I have to go through the middle instead of to the left, and I've seen the ice breaking too much over there, so I choose this tactic instead. And
Next
that's going
up
pretty well.
Is Mr. Yurlov, the young Russian, very young Russian, but he's very, very fast. Vladislav Yurlov. Oh, he's having a nightmare.
Oh, come on.
Recovers, just
And
just stop. He knows that he needs to.
Be a lot
course.
faster there.
It's not ideal that you stop on your attempt, but these guys are trying to climb so fast that sometimes it's more efficient to stop after you've fallen a couple of times, save yourself, and then be prepared for your second and third attempt. Another Russian climber out next, and this is Vladislav Golub.
Also a very fast climber,
Ready
actually.
to attack.
Yeah, he's really attacking the wall. He's hitting those axes into the ice. Really finding his rhythm so fast. It's taking less than a second for each ice axe to get into the ice and get to the top. I'm wondering how many seconds. I think it's 13 seconds.
Yeah, that's correct. 13.39 seconds. Enough to put him in the top 5. Actually, the same time as Tristan Ledevon, but he'll be in 4th due to the qualifying positions.
And again, another Russian climber, Leonid.
Leonid Malik, very good, has had a really good season so far. Hasn't quite had the success that he'd be looking for, but here is looking in great form.
That was good.
What a
And
strong
he's got,
finish.
I think, the fastest time right now. 9 seconds and 81.
0.06 of a second faster than Pavel Batashov.
So that's a very good start. And this is their first round. I'm really curious to see on what they're going to do in the next round.
Of course, we can expect to see times speeding up as the climbers gain confidence and see that the times are getting faster and want to push hard for those qualifying positions. And speaking of qualifying positions, this man's no stranger to them. Vladimir Kartashov, brilliant athlete. He's taken 2 silver medals this season so far, and look at that speed.
But
Kartashov.
still, it wasn't the fastest. 10 seconds.
Great speed there, and I think we could expect to see a faster time from him.
Oh, definitely.
Vladimir Kartashov, been very promising this year. You see him picking up his pace through the middle of the route, finishing strong. I think if he can just keep that pace up from start to finish, go hell for leather, then we could see him in the final. Now Radomir Prushenko, fast feet, big hand movements. We know that Radomir Prushenko's fast. He took, oh no!
That's a pity what happened over there.
That's a shame for Prushenko. He did take a gold medal in the first comp of the season in Beijing, ahead of Vladimir Kartashov. And he was the first place qualifier today. So now that's the end of our first rotation. You know what that means, Marianne?
Second round.
Yes.
Up for
While
second
we're
round.
waiting for the climbers to get round again, don't forget you can get in touch using that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. You can drop us a comment below the feed in Facebook, on the right of the feed on YouTube. And why not watch on Periscope and drop us a comment on there as well. We'll do our best to reply, shout out and answer questions as and when we can.
There you've got the cowbells again.
Milan Dvoracek looking really good at this point. And that's a good start for him.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. I think he still can go faster, but he's got one other attempt though.
Next out we'll have Sam Clavien. Switzerland. As we said, it's great to have so many nationalities through to the final 18.
He's focused.
6, 7, 8 nationalities through to the final. The local crowd really getting behind Sam Clavian.
Oh, he's got a good rhythm.
Managed to hold the fall.
Oh, but he's finding his rhythm back though, a little slower.
13.88. That's fast enough to see him in a top 10 position. And in fact, at this moment in time, it is fast enough to see him in a qualifying position.
Oh yes, it is actually.
Be interesting to see how that develops.
Well, I think we can expect a little faster times even.
Especially with some of the climbers that dropped their first attempts, we'll be expecting to see those guys registering a time at least once, getting on those rankings. Here's Tristan Ladovon.
Running up, also going for the right side again. Really pulling on his ice axis. He really keeps his arms short to keep stabilizing the movements. Oh, and
he's
it
out
just
of there
doesn't work.
again.
He looks at his axis like, what did it just do to me? But you can't
Tristan
help it.
Ladovon climbed first in 1651 and that time fell. A lot of climbers falling on this structure. The ice very brittle in these cold conditions. It's in the region of minus 20 degrees in here tonight, minus 20 degrees Celsius. Right cold.
Making the ice really brittle. It's not easy climbing this kind of ice when it's this brittle. It's trickier, it breaks easier. The next climber, you see it over here, it breaks again, but he finds his way back again. Come on.
Andreas Kantner of Liechtenstein falling there. Big shame for him.
Pity, because they've got a wall to train on as well in Liechtenstein itself.
They do.
They've got real ice. They've
Love
got
that.
an actual wall. So, and the team is actually getting bigger. They're joining the Swiss competitions as well. And you see the results. I mean, he's in the finals over here.
Well, he's done a great job, and hopefully he can beat that initial time that he set of 16:51. Sorry, not 16:51. That was Tristan Ladovon. His fastest time was 22:25. There's Igor Trapeznikov.
Igor again. He knows he can do good over here. He's won before.
And there's Masoud Zenali.
Focusing on the wall, because I think he just fell in the first round, right?
Yeah, Masoud did fall in that
Yes, he
first
did.
round, so he'll be looking to register a time in this second round. Gets off to a good start.
Wondering what he's going to do, if he's going to take any risk or if he's going. It looks like, oh no!
Really
Oh, that's
not
such a pity.
ideal. This second round, we're
fall.
seeing many climbers falling victim to that very brittle ice.
And there's my favorite climber again. Let's see what ice axes he's using, because I know Dennis is most of the times using different ice axes compared to the other athletes.
Why is
He's
that?
actually won with those axes. They've got a different angle and they're a little wider.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
he's using
look at
them
the
again.
angle.
He knows that he does better with those ice axes. And there he's finding his rhythm, kind of. Taking
Dennis has got
risks.
very wide hips on his
Oh,
style.
definitely. That's his style for sure.
Come
He
on,
knows
Dennis.
He has to finish it kind of
Get a time in.
kicking. He's looking down at his feet. The looking down at his feet is not really his.
See the frustration there.
Not his best climb ever.
But he's got a time in, which is better than nothing, and he can improve on that now. 22.71.
Well, there's only one chance left. I just want him to do better, but sometimes.
Well, at present, that puts him in 13th position. He needs to knock a few seconds off. But if he can knock,
He can.
he definitely
He's
can.
had
He
9
needs to knock-
seconds before over here in 10 seconds, so.
Mohamed Reza Safdarian, of course, on now. He finished in 17:48 on his last go. Moving really well. Great rhythm from Safdarian. I know he's been training with the Russians, and that fall's not ideal. That's going to cost him a lot of time.
You see, he's only looking at his ice axis,
Even
not
with
looking
that
at his feet.
big fall, he knocked a second off his first time,
Still a
Marianne.
pretty good time, 1682 to be exact. Jumping for the final halt over there.
Next out, we will have Mr. Tomilov, Alexei Tomilov, of course. Interesting that we've no Maxim Tomilov in these finals, Marianne.
No, indeed. I haven't actually seen the qualifications, so I'm not really sure what happened over there.
That was Maxim Tomilov.
Tricky in his climb, he's slowing a little bit. Really trying to keep his axis in the wall and finding back his rhythm again. That's very, very good to find your back your rhythm. Oh, very close to not hitting the final top and stopping the time. 13 seconds and 65.
So, Marianne, I've just been informed that Maxim Tomilov didn't compete in speed qualifiers because he's focusing on lead in Saas Fee.
Okay.
It's fair enough.
Well, that's the difference because most of the times they're doing both lead and both speed.
But Maxim hasn't had the season that he would have hoped for. He had won 3 events by this time last year.
Yeah.
So far, it's not gone his way. So maybe he's thinking, okay, I need to really up my lead game. I'm going to give it everything I've got. Speaking of giving it everything he's got, this is Pauli Salminen, Finnish climber.
Really giving everything, hitting those ice axes into the wall. He's really hitting them instead of just only hooking them. And it seems to help him. Ooh, almost off there, but
He's got
still
some
keeping
very
his
thick
rhythm.
gloves on.
He's definitely having thick gloves on, but I think that's a very smart thing. You don't need thin gloves over here. You can better protect your fingers a little better.
Especially with it being so cold. Pauli Salminen finishing 21.47. Flying through this men's final.
Well, he seems happy with this one. And he's got a time because on the first... does he have a better time? Yeah, his first time is 24.26 and his second time 21.47. And there we go for the next climber, Pavel. Oh no, Pavel!
Pavel Batashov falling early down the route there, but he's having a very poor time. Compared to his first attempt of 9.87, it's not going his way at this time. That's why it's important to give everything every time.
Definitely not his thing with 15.13, whilst he just already had 9 seconds. We go to the next fast climber over here, Nikolai, also from Russia. He didn't finish his climb in the first round, so he should do better right now to at least set a time.
Nikolai Kuzovlev, brilliant start from the Russian rocket. Falls, that section's caused a lot of problems.
Definitely a tricky section for most of the climbers. But he's finding his rhythm back and just not reaching the top hold there.
And then just tapped
14,
the timer
36.
in 14.36. Next up, Kirill Kolshagashov. Kirill Kolshagashov won the overall ice climbing Speed World Cup in 2012. He took 3rd last week in Cheongsong, 8th in Beijing.
And running up, also using the right side of the wall and really finding his rhythm here in the difficult
fast
section.
Movements. Look at him flying.
Wow,
Crikey.
Nice, and crossing at the end, making a little bit more length.
10.37. That's our 3rd fastest time so far. Puts him ahead of Vladimir Kartashov. But I reckon Kartashov's going to put in a good time next. I've got a feeling, Marianne.
Might be, it might be. I'm still hoping for another one to win though, but fortunately.
Well, he's still got chance.
He's still got a chance, but he has to do really fast. There are so many people to beat.
Vladislav Yurlov gets himself prepared for his second attempt. Sadly, Vladislav dropped the first attempt. Here he goes. Better start for Yurlov.
Definitely a better start. Finding his rhythm over here, also through a difficult section in the start. Oh, tricky, tricky.
Oh,
no,
big chunk of ice
on.
comes off there, but he manages to top in 15.24. Not the fastest time, and currently not fast enough to be in the top 8. Vladislav Yurlov is going to have to pull something out of the bag if he wants to be in with a chance of qualifying in the top 8.
really focusing, having his hands high up so he can easier reach for the first section of the real ice.
Vladislav Golub looking like he's having a hard time on these first moves.
But once he's past those moves, he's really moving fast.
He is in the top 6 as it stands.
14 seconds still.
14's fast enough to see you in the top 8, but his first time of 13:39 was faster. The athletes with 3 attempts here, their fastest result being the one that registers as the one that puts them through. Current first place is Leonid Malik, who finished in a time sub 10 seconds, 9:81.
He's up next.
And he is indeed next. It's almost like I planned to say that.
Oh, your name is on the screen.
That's me! But that's not me climbing.
No.
I am indeed Liam Lonsday. If you want to get in touch with me directly, use that name and stick the @ in front of it. Twitter, Instagram or Facebook.
Oh,
and
no.
be able to get in touch. No.
He's
Leonid
not
Malik
very happy
just
with that.
stops.
I think it just stopped, yeah. Well, he's got a fast time anyway.
He's still in first position, so not too much to worry about.
Vladimir up next. Or Vlad, as they say in Russia often. They shorten the names a little.
Kartashov, very, very fast this season, 22 years old. He's only short, but he's very powerful. You see in his back, he's very muscular.
Very
Broad
dynamic climber.
traps.
Super explosive movements he's got
So
there.
fast. Unbelievably
Yes,
quick in our
he's
first
got it.
sub 9 second. 8.87 seconds from. That was unbelievable. Vladimir Kartashov. So fast. That hand movement. It looks like we've sped it up. Bam, 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 bam. Vladimir Kartashov is on fantastic form and staking his claim for one of the top spots here.
This was not a fast forward, this was real life climbing.
What do you reckon,
This is
Marianne? That was a
really
sub 9 second.
what the heck?
Will we see a sub 8?
Ooh, that might be.
It's
I
possible.
don't know, it is possible. Oh, and there we have the next climber. The last one
Radomir
of this.
Prushenko.
See what he's going to do. He's also
He's in
going
great
fast.
form there, great pace. He's over 10 seconds.
Ooh.
10.24. That's a good time though. It's in the top 8. Of course,
Still
these
top
climbers
8.
only have to come in the top 8 to qualify.
And we're up for the next round, the third round. The fastest time they climb is the time that will place them into the finals or not. We'll see.
The fastest time is the one that counts, and we go around for our third rotation and are returned by Milan Dvoracek. It's a great hairstyle. Well into that little plait thing.
He's got some braid on the
If
side
I
of
could
his
grow
head.
hair like that,
Yeah,
then
it's
I
long.
might do, yeah. Sadly, this head looks more like a snooker ball. Milan Dvoracek.
Was he choosing the right section in the start?
Well, he's beaten his first 2 times of 25, then he took 19. Can he beat
he's
that?
gonna- oh, no.
That's a shame for Dvoracek.
I was
That'll
about
be
to
his
say,
competition
he had a
over.
rhythm.
Waves to the crowd. Thanks to him for his support.
He's got quite some support over there. I even see you don't see it on the screen on the live stream, but I even see a Czech flag.
Yeah, it's being waved by some fans. Next up, we go back to Swiss climber Samuel Clavier.
The only Swiss climber on the list. So see if the audience is cheering for him.
I think we can
Probably.
expect some big cheers.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about this venue, you can get really up close and personal. The helical shape of the ice dome, as they call it, allowing people to get right next to the speed wall. And as the camera angles pan out, you can see the circular road basically creating a brilliant amphitheatre for people to really enjoy the atmosphere. At the moment, there's a few hundred people with us. Tomorrow, for the lead finals, this place will be packed to the rafters.
If you really want to look at the live results yourself, go to the uaa.org/iceclimbing/live results or results.uaa.org.
Samuel Clavier on a great start, just stumbles with the right hand but picks it up with the left. Stumbles again, he's still moving. Samuel Clavier looking to log a time, really struggling with that brittle ice, and once again falls.
He falls, but it kind of looked like he gave up.
Hard to say.
Difficult to say indeed. Let's see that at the playback. hit himself a little. Goes on again, but he knows that, maybe he just knows that his first time was a lot better. So his time
here's
set.
French climber Tristan Ladevaux. Tristan, first time was 16:51. Let's see if he can beat that. Just stumbles as he tries to get onto the ice.
Oh, and a huge block of ice broke just off, but he keeps on climbing. He manages to keep
Allez,
on.
Tristan. Just struggling to find that pace and rhythm. There it is, he's looking better now.
Looking better close to the top and jumping to the last.
19:49, not faster than his best time there.
Not his
That's
best
not
time
going to
was
be
16.
fast enough to see him go through to the finals, and that's a shame. Current standings, Sam Klavien in 8th place. Vladislav Golob in 7th, Alexei Tomilov in 6th, Kirill Kolshegoshev in 5th, Radomir Prushenko in 4th, Pavel Batashov in 3rd, Leonid Malik in 2nd, and Vladimir Kartashov, the pint-sized Russian rocket, in 1st.
Andreas from Liechtenstein, he just fell, but he set a time in the first round. See what he does right now.
He'll be looking to better that time.
Well, he's got a stable rhythm, searching for the right holes. He's going a little bit more to the left compared to the most of competitors. See if he keeps on his rhythm.
Oh no, that's a real
such
shame
a
there
pity.
for Andreas Gantner.
He tried hard.
Tried
was
very
good.
hard. You can definitely say that he tried hard. He's done himself proud and he's done his country proud.
Oh, definitely. It's great to have this many countries.
Fun trivia fact. What's the population of Liechtenstein?
I think it's like 33,000
Oof.
at about. It's a very small country.
You can also join in with the game. Hashtag UIAA ice climbing. Now,
very
Igor
good idea.
Trepeznikov. We know that this guy can be fast. Had a bit of trouble on his second attempt.
Really hitting with his feet. Oh no, he just misses. He just misses. Oh, this is not his best day.
Well,
unfortunately.
The timer did stop at 10:16. So
Did
it's
the time
possible. The timer stopped. But let's see the replay to see if he actually did get up there.
It's always good we have this replay. Doing a really good job over here, the people.
Oh, he definitely missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. That's unfortunate because he doesn't have a time set right now.
Masoud Zainali,
Masoud has to do well as well.
great Iranian climber, great fun.
He's going for security. At least setting a time. Still, he's got to get rhythm. Because in his first 2 rounds he didn't set a time. So now he really has to at least have something. Oh no!
You really see that brittle ice just causing quite a few problems for those athletes. You've got to move fast, you've got to be lucky, you've got to try hard. So, next up,
Fingers crossed.
Marianne with her fingers crossed and I think her toes as well, will be Dennis van Hoek, the Netherlands. He so far has one time of 22.7 and needs to climb faster than 13.6 seconds to be in with a chance of qualifying. He looks ready for it. So far off to a good start for Dennis van Hoek.
Come on, Dennis. Do it. Do it. Hit with your feet hard in the. Come on, Dennis.
Oh no, just stumbling again.
Come on, just finish it. At least finish it. Come on, keep on having your rhythm. Have your rhythm. Oh.
He tops it in
Hey,
22.38.
Oh.
It's a great effort, but it's not going to be fast enough.
No.
It was faster than his second attempt by 0.4 of a second.
Well, it was good training. He's got another chance in Champagny.
Exactly.
Maybe we should climb ice this week. Just speed climbing on the
Speed
ice.
climbing on the ice. Get a top rope set up. Mohammad Reza Safdarian now ready to climb. Second Iranian climber from the men. He's been really fast so far, Safdarian.
Yeah, he's holding on strong. He's definitely strong on his arms there.
Oh no.
Aye, pity.
And that fall means he has to revert to his first time of 17.48. Not fast enough.
You know, most people think that this speed climb has got nothing to do with the real ice climbing anymore, but I don't agree to this.
Okay.
I actually, because of speed climbing, had saved myself in an ice climb by being realizing that I got my ice tool out, I got 2 feet out, and then I was able to swing my tools back in the ice, just like you do with speed climbing, and actually saving my climb. Otherwise, I would have made a huge fall. So, I think if you do speed climbing, it might help actually in your real ice climbing.
Interesting.
So it's not as much nonsense as some people say.
Okay, well, that's interesting insight from Marianne van der Steen. An amazing effort there from Alexei Tomilov. 13.31. That is his fastest time of the 3 by 0.02 of a second. That'll keep him in 6th place as it stands. In the top 5, everyone has a 10-second or below time. It's quite a big gap between 5th and 6th. Next out is Pauli Salminen.
Pauli, see what he does. I said at the start, maybe he will surprise us. See if he surprises us right now.
Pauli gets off to a great start, throwing those axes into the ice high above his head, pulling himself up very, very quickly.
He's really hitting the ice. Oh no!
Pauli Salminen gets out no time registered for his 3rd attempt with that fall.
Yeah, 21.47 will be his fastest then. He looks happy that he was here at least. And he tried.
And we see the replay of Pauli Salminen's fall as the rope gets changed between him and Pavel Batashov. Pavel sits currently in 3rd place. Great technique, really frogging it as he moves very quickly.
Took a while for him to get that hold, but still a very good fast time.
Even 11. With 2 falls, 11.14 seconds for Pavel Batashov.
Still, his first time was the fastest, 9.87.
Nikolai Kuzovlev. Oh, look at that on the screen right now. Our segment sponsors, Hotel Ambiente. I stayed there last year. It's very nice. Very friendly people, I have to say. Nikolai Kuzovlev on the screen, moving very quickly indeed. Just over 10 seconds at this point, and he finishes in 12.1. Won't be fast enough. Oh, it might be fast enough. That's his fastest time yet at this stage with... I think he might have got in there, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be close though.
Well,
still a few
he'll
left.
bump out Sam Clavian.
Yes.
And that'll put him into 8th position. The rest of the climbers have still to climb, but they've already qualified. So he's done what he needed to do, which was bump out Sam Clavian. Next up is Kirill Kolshagashev. There he goes.
Really focused on his climb. You see, he's got a longer movement than most of the Russian climbers there. He's also slightly taller.
He is one of the taller competitors. 14.51 there for Kirill Kolshagashev. To see throughout the broadcast over the next 24 hours. A big thank you to the athletes. The athletes have done an amazing job today with the speed finals and of course the lead qualifications. The semi-finals results are available online, www.results.theuiaa.org, and we're pretty much ready now for the prize giving, so expect some athletes on there in a second. I'm going to go behind the camera and commentate on this for you, so enjoy the medal ceremony here in Saas Fee.
Dort Carol Kaun, der Manager für die UIAA und Urs Stecker, President for the Ice Climbing Commission for the UIAA. Prizes are given by Carol Kaun, event manager of the UIAA, and as well President of the Ice Climbing Commission, Urs
So now,
So, as mentioned, ladies,
wait for the announcer to bring out the athletes. He mentioned there Urs Stucker. Urs is the president of the Ice Climbing Commission. He's also the announcer here today. Very well known and well liked climber out of Switzerland. And Valeria Bogdan, the first athlete to come out for the presentation. She, of course, finished in what was 4th place. Awesome effort from the young Russian climber. Third place will go to another Russian climber, the very talented and very well deserving Nadia Galyamova of Russia.
Her best attempt, beste Zeit 19:24. Beste Zeit von der Valeria 19:67.
Carol Cajon of the UIAA presenting the prizes there.
Medaille für Nadia Galyamova.
Nadia's fastest time this evening was 19.24 seconds.
Dann wird Silbrig im zweiten Rang.
Second place, no stranger to the podium. Her fastest time this evening, 17.85 seconds. Maria Tolokonina shakes the hands of her Russian teammates and climbs up onto that big ice box.
Maria Tolokonina.
Urs Stocker presenting the medals. President of the Ice Climbing Commission. 3 kisses on the cheek there, traditional Swiss style.
Und dann kommen wir zu der Siegerin vom heutigen Tag, 20. Januar 2017 hier in Saas Fee Ice Climbing World Cup Speed, best of today.
And the winner of the 4th round of the 2017 UIAA Ice Climbing Speed World Cup is 21-year-old Russian climber Ekaterina Kosheva, her 2nd gold medal of the season. Her fastest time, of course, in 17.41 seconds, 0.4 faster than Maria Tolokonina. Extremely close finish in the women's finals. In the speed competition, another Russian-dominated podium, and for the first time tonight, we will hear the Russian national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, all those sitting, we kindly ask you to raise to stand up. Alle wat hocken, bitte mehr aufstehen. Wir kommen zu den Nationalhymn, the national anthem of Russia for the winner, Ekaterina Kosheva.
And so there the Russian national anthem for the first time this evening. Ekaterina Kosheva taking her 2nd gold medal of the season in the 4th round of the UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. And so now we will have the men's podium.
Ice Climbing World Cup 2017 here in Saas Fee as well. 4th place, and from Russia, Vietnam, Rusland, 4e, la Russie, Radomir Proshchenko.
And so in 4th place, nearly slipping on the ice there, steady Radomir Proshchenko. His fastest time this evening, and his only qualifying time was 10.24 seconds. In 3rd place, gold medalist from last week in Cheongsong, Pavel Batashev. Awesome work from Mr. Batashov.
87 is best time.
Second place and ever so close to the first position tonight. Young Russian athlete Leonid Malik placed second. Leonid Malik's fast time of 9.81, only 0.06 of a second faster than Pavel Batashov. Very, very tight margins between these climbers. There's Leonid Malik. Shake of the hand from his Russian teammates.
Die beste Zeit 9:81, 9:81 is silver medal time.
Well-deserved silver medal for the Russian. And the gold medal, well deserved, earned after 2 silver medals in both Beijing and Cheongsong. The only climber to take a sub 9 second time on this route. The 08.87 second time. Vladimir Kartashov takes his first gold medal of the season. Very well deserved. He took gold last year in Cheongsong. This year, this is his first gold, and I'm sure he'll be very, very happy to accept this medal from Urs Stocker, President of the Ice Climbing Commission. Getting his medal from Karol Cahun, the event coordinator here at the UIAA. Big round of applause for the full Russian podium, and for the second time this evening we will have the Russian national anthem.
Please rise for the Russian national anthem for Vladimir Kartashev.
Should I stand over there?
Vladimir Projenko, Pavel Batashov, Leonid Malik, and the winner, Vladimir Kartashev. Herzlichen Dank, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer. Wir können alle zusammen lang nicht erinnern. Das kann einfach jetzt werden, aber nicht verlassen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that finishes our award ceremony here, and a phenomenal speed final. All Russian podiums, again, absolutely dominant, absolutely brilliant performances from all the Russian athletes. You can tune in tomorrow for the lead semi-finals in women's and men's from 8:30 a.m. local time. We're looking forward to seeing you there. Don't forget, you can drop comments using that hashtag UIAA Ice Climbing. You can leave comments on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. We'll do our best to shout you out, answer your questions and get you involved where we can. My name's Liam Lonsdale and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning.
Big set, schöne Hille und Party.